Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever in the world you may be. We are here for the N League final table. I'm Wes, and alongside me, Max, how
Hello,
you doing?
I'm Max, it's better known as Light Pink Yoshi sometimes, and I am very happy to be joining you here tonight.
We have a great set of four players out here tonight. We have Vince, who is practicing the married man meta for the Brooklyn Sours, whose slogan is uh, always sour, never salty. Uh, Uh, to his right, we have Julian sitting in the south seat for the Destroyers. You want to take the other two?
Yep, it's going to be Mike representing the Peregrine FalKANs sitting in the west seat, and finishing us off tonight in the first game will be Josh in the north seat, captain of the Queen's Mahjong Triad, who have found themselves with quite a score gap here to start off these final three hanchan. Because like
Yeah,
Wes, oh sorry.
yeah. You were joking earlier before the stream that we're kind of playing this to see who gets second, um, and
Yeah,
that gap is quite big. So that might be kind of true to a certain
yeah.
extent.
For those who aren't familiar, like Wes said, this is going to be the last week of the inaugural season of the NOMI League, and the Queen's Mahjong Triad has been fairly dominant throughout. One difference from the rest of the streams will be that this will be three Hanchan played, and that is only the top four teams. Coming in at fourth place was the FalKAns at minus 9.6. The fact that fourth was at negative should tell you a lot already. Third place is the Brooklyn Sours. Vince is going to be looking to pick up some points here at 51.8, 76 points behind the Destroyers at 128.1. And that leaves us with the Triad, who has more points than the rest of the teams combined, doubled at 487.9, a 360 point gap on second place. So that'll be fun for them to try to make out. The other thing that we were told to note, the setup has changed in the past week, so you will notice blue fives here tonight. They are red fives. There's nothing special about them. They're still the Akadora. They're just blue. Someone better at Japanese could make a pun there on the color blue, but I cannot.
Uh, just looking at opening hands here with the Dorothea four-man. Vince's hand looks really disjointed. Uh,
Yeah.
is not good for first dealership so far.
He does have six tiles to a 1-2-3 Sanshoku. Maybe something that he can try to open for, keep his deal, add one of them big combo that we're so fond of. To his right, Julian also not looking particularly quick. Does have three pairs, but nothing super appealing so far. That did fill in a 7 pin while we were talking.
uh, Mike, also not that appealing, but has a few pairs.
Yeah, I want to say
And
that's the
notably the
blue.
blue five. Yep.
Yeah, I was like, it looks like off enough, but I thought it might just be a camera thing. But yeah, I think honestly though, like Mike's hand looks fairly straightforward in terms of it could just be Richie Pinfu.
And
Has
there's a
acceptance
Ricci
from
from
Ghidorah.
Josh just straight
Oh,
away.
didn't even
Uh,
get there in time. Gonna be Richie
though
Itsu
uh,
waiting on the eight
the
so.
eight, yeah,
Yep.
eight so.
And that is not what you want to see if you're any of these teams that is trying to catch up with the Triad. Let's see. Checking around the table, we do see one 8-so in each of Julian and Mike's hand, but no one else has anything. That being said, Vince has actually found his way to an Ishanten, and is could chase this with potential Sanshoku Dora 1 as dealer. Open or close, that'd be quite the if he gets it closed, it'd be a very expensive hand, but open would be perfectly fine as well.
I mean,
Does
I guess it depends on like the team strategies going in, right? So if you're aiming only for second, right, it's fine if Josh reaches. You just have
True.
to play super defensive.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to play. You still can't play super defensive, right? I mean,
Right.
you can to this Richie. Oh, there's gonna be the sumo. All right, no. Oh, there was a blue five in there as well. So this is gonna be at least a manga. One Ura, so Richie, Sumo, Itsu, Dora 1. Will just be 2,000, 4,000. Would have needed Ura 2 to bump that up. but does take home the quick 8,000 points to start us off here. Fortunately, Vince just could not get that Ishanten together in time.
We are off to a blistering start here.
Yep. I will say the blue fives are a little bit tough to pick up on the camera, but you know what? We will work with what we have. That brings us on to Julian's deal, who certainly has a better starting hand than Vince had just off
He
the
looks
bat
like he has a
here.
really good starting hand.
Yeah.
Uh, three
Ooh.
6 pins, a pair of red dragons, and a pair of green dragons.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to be sending it right for this potential Honitsu if possible. The 8 pin is the Dora, so that's going to benefit that as well. South Seat, this hand, Mike does have one of those Hatsu that Julian's looking to palm. Does have a blue 5 pin, always nice, and some relatively connected tiles. Just doesn't really have like the good shapes that you want to see. Though the East pair is going to help there. Oh, and the Chun already comes out and gets palmed by Julian. He's going to be trying to get this done as quickly as possible.
Looking at Josh's hand, has a lot of pairs, but it looks like how he put the 7 pin to the outside of the hand. He doesn't want to go for Chitoy.
Yeah,
So,
it's like
yeah.
it's a very awkward Cheetoy. Like if the game gives you Cheetoy, like okay, so be it. You know, like maybe if you draw 6 pin, you play Tuso or something. But at the moment, it could just be like a nice and easy Tanya Dora one. Because obviously Josh doesn't really need to do anything too fancy. And then last but certainly not least, we approach Vince's hand as already Ishanten for a potential just Richi Tanya Pinfu. Needs a 5/8 mon and a 2/5 pin. Hatsu still hanging around in Mike's hands, so Julian has not been able to progress any further. But did draw in a Dora, so could actually even move towards a world where he gets a dealer Hanuman here. Josh picks up a 9 pin. Yeah, just gives up on the cheat toy entirely. Gonna move towards that potential 5/8 pin. Wait to try to add another Dora. No more Tanya, though. Ooh, another Pinzu drawn in for Julian. Potential monster coming out. The 7-so Onko here for Josh. How's he going to decide to play this? Does decide to play out the 2-3-so. Feels better about the 3/6 mon wait. Maybe because he already sees 2 of the 1-so. And Vince has just been drawing and discarding since we last left him. Has just not been able to find the template just yet. There's going to be the palm. And
And that puts Julian in Ishanten.
yep, alarm bells are sounding. But I believe is that everybody Ishante?
Uh,
Not quite for Mike just yet, though he does pick up a second blue 5 and does have the East that he could pull. Yeah, still just not quite getting it there though. Oh, that's gonna
and
be Tenpai for Josh, I believe, correct? Is that
correct.
yep. Decides not to Richi. Does not have a
8/5
Yaku.
weight.
Yep, does not have a Yaku with no Pinfu here. But could still sumo. Probably just worry about like, let's not deal into Shosangan. The Haku is already 2 cut. Oh, that's gonna be Tenpai for Vince as well. Well, imagine we'll see a Richi here. Yep. Oh, and a 4-mon's not what you want to draw here if you're Julian. I think you kind of have to push. Just you kind of priced into it.
Yeah, I think we'll really see the destroyer strategy. Yeah, the
Yeah,
destroyers
yeah.
decide.
I mean, when you're staring down potential dealer 18K or like 12K guaranteed potential 18K, I think it's fairly reasonable. Oh, and that's gonna be the draw for Julian. You're gonna be waiting 6/7 or sorry, 7/8 pin. So 3 somewhat overlapping tempis here. Oh, but Josh does give up on the 3 mon draw. Has no interest in continuing to push into this Ricci. Happy with his first place.
And there's the Shosan gun dead for Julian,
Yep,
dropping the
just
Haku himself.
yeah, decides to play the safer tile instead of cutting the door into the Ricci, which, fair.
Yeah.
Very, very reasonable. Whole lot going on this hand though. Is that is technically back to Tempai for Josh. I don't imagine he'll keep that if he wasn't willing to keep the other one. That's gonna be the sumo for Vince on the 5-pin. Picks up some of those points that he paid out, just Richie Tanya pin for sumo. It's back some of those points he paid from the dealer penalty. Very unfortunate for Julian. 7-8 pin weight looks quite good there.
Yeah, and this is pretty good for the destroyers. We have 3 hanchan now to play out, so
Yeah, they still have plenty of
get a little
time.
bit of momentum.
Yeah, that's the type of hand though where if you hit it, it could definitely start you well on your way towards actually making that comeback. Because the destroyers are the team that's closest. If you can call 360 points closest in anything but a technical sense.
But on we go to East 3.
Yep. Moving into East 3 is going to be Mike's deal. Trying to get anything going for the FalKAns, just has not really had a playable hand just yet. We do see the 7 So is the Dora. Can't quite see the hand yet, but it does seem Sozu heavy, which would be quite nice for the Dora suit.
There is 1 red 5 in there for Sozu,
Yep.
and not much else.
No. Yeah, I saw just like the amount of Sozu connected, but do not really connect well enough, unfortunately. Though that is a Hatsu pair, so Mike could start cooking something up here. On his right, Josh's hand looks like it just kind of wants to move. It's already Ishantan, I believe.
Yeah, speaking of cooking, definitely Josh's hand. Already
Yeah.
there.
Yep, it is. This needs to fight a 7-mon and can beat Tenpai for just pin Fudora. And even with him trying to play probably fairly conservatively, I imagine that would still be a Rishi if we got it that early. Vince's hand, we do see one of the blue 5s, but not really a whole lot else. Just not really the
Some almost
quality of
completed
shapes.
shapes, but
Yeah, none of
it's
them
a
are
bit slow.
finished. And then lastly, Julian trying to get some of those points back, sitting in a respectable fourth at the moment, but still an unfortunate fourth. Just doesn't quite have. I mean, I guess there's like a Manzu Itsu potential. Not really much to go off of here. We do see the 7-mon get drawn in for Josh. He does immediately reach it. Yep. Don't you just love that when like you're sitting there? It's like I know statistically 2 out of 3 times my Tenpai is going to be drawing the 2-5. So, but the 7-mon feels so good. Yeah, this is going to be a nice quick Richie Pin Fedora. We did see the Hatsupon come out from Mike, so maybe he will attempt to make something happen with his Hatsu. And 1 red 5 is Ryan Shanten and is holding 2 of Josh's winning tiles. We do see Vince also make a chi here with the 6-pin, trying to just chase down this dealer. I think that may be indicative of the fact that Vince is probably trying to play this kind of aggressively. I imagine this will be another chi. Yes. It does seem like Vince is at least giving it his best effort at chasing down the Triad if he's willing to fight a Ricci like this for even just like a small hand. Because this isn't necessarily like a good fight in terms of like overall positioning, but it's a necessary fight if you're trying to stop the Triad from winning.
Yeah. But looking at Julian's hand, I think he kind of moved a little bit away from in Shantan and then moved back closer.
Yeah,
It's a
just kind
little
of
bit
playing
awkward to
out.
deal with the Rishi.
I think he's just kind of playing out tiles as they become safe. And right now, he's just kind of found an abundance of Manzu. He does have 4 pairs, including an Akka pair.
Oh, and there's Tempai for Vince, the
Yep.
5-pin 4 so.
Imagine. Oh, Mike has drawn a 7-pin here, which is very awkward. Oh, and decides that he just can't keep pushing it. Does not want to play out the 5-pin. So definitely taking a step back there. Still could get somewhere, but that 5-pin fold is well, it would have dealt into Vince, so we'll say it's correct. That's how Mahjong works, right? The correct play always works.
Yeah, I mean, depends on how you look at it. Yeah.
It didn't deal in, therefore it was correct. That is how we do. It looks like all of a sudden Julian's hand is starting to take shape again. Josh still is looking for that 2-5, so we see 3 of them held in Mike's hand. We see 2 of them in Julian's hand, and none in Vince's hand. Vince
Vince decides to
changing
change the
weight.
weight. Yeah.
Yep, 4-7 pin. Also felt a little bit better. Ooh, that's a really interesting draw if you are Mike. Unfortunately, I think most routes now have forced him to deal in if he wants to continue fighting. He does have to say 5 pin for now, but is sitting at a very tantalizing Yushanten with a hand that would be lit up red if we had those kind of tips on.
Julian thinking about this 3-so.
Yeah, just going to continue folding out, it looks like. 6-1 did just come out from Josh's Regi. Mike hasn't drawn anything to make it difficult just yet. Vince just kind of committed to pushing at this point, which, like, fair. Once you come this far, it's like, what else are you going to do?
Yep, still folding from Julian. It's
Yeah.
hard to
Oh,
keep the shapes and
another 2-so here for Mike. Would have to deal in with the 4-pin to take this Tenpai, though. See what happens. Does play the 4-pin out for Tenpai, and Vince does pick up the 2K. Plus the stick. All things considered, not like the worst punish in the world, and I don't think you can really do anything else there besides take Tenpai. Because, like, it's not like any of the other tiles in your hand were safe either if you're Mike.
yeah.
But that brings us to a fairly rapid East 4. Which, do you have
Yeah.
signal on the right camera?
Camera 2 is kind of bugging out a little bit for us. Apologies.
Yep. Sorry about that. We will get that fixed
But
as soon as we can. In the meantime, we can look at the other hands. We do have a potential Honitsu brewing from Mike. Not in the Dora suit, unfortunately. Dora being 6-pin here, but there is an East pair and a whole lot of Monzu. And then Josh's hand does have one of those 6-pin Dora and could potentially be.
seems like it could be a Richie Pinfu hand.
Yeah, really needs to try to, like, fill in that 7-so.
Oh, there's an 8 Mon, which helps a little bit.
Yep, it does form another nice looking rearmament. Across the way, we do see 2 calls already from Vince. Hatsu Pon and Manzuchi that I can't quite make out. So that might shut the party down on the East round. See see if we can try to guess.
Um, I'm horrible at guessing.
Yeah,
So,
okay,
oh,
we do see the 4-mon Pon here come up from Mike. If I had to guess, I'm gonna guess that Vince is Tempai or Ishanten near the Dora. With just like a fast, like, 2K hand. However, Mike has now gotten 2 calls towards this East Honitsu. And is that Tempai? No,
it's
not quite.
Ishandan
Yeah.
on the 247 Mon, I believe.
Yep, also the 9-mon if he pairs it.
Oh yes. Uh,
Looks like Vince may not quite be Tempai yet, as he has not rolled the 8 or the 7-pin. Or I'm just wrong entirely, which is
maybe it's
probably more likely.
Toy Toy Ishanten or Toy Toy Tempai. So it's a weird tile that Vince is. Oh, never mind. Switch that tile.
Oh, yep. And there's the West from hand as well. So I think when you see a player cut like an otherwise safe tile, especially out of an open hand, that should be your alarm bell that they might be Tempai. Because, well, what reason would they have if it's like what they've decided is their safe time? Either they're greeting more, or they've just made it to where they need to be. Yeah, I did kind of miss that first call was a pawn, so we could see a Toy Toy. We did see Josh, by the way, drawing another Dora, and is sitting on a fairly nice Rianchan 10 at the moment. Ooh, the blue 5 gets drawn in, and Mike decides that he's not necessarily committed to the Honeytube. Does have the ability to switch off that because he has pawned the East, which is still a Yaku, because it's East 4. Yeah. Apologies again. We are working on the technical difficulties of the other half as fast as we can, but there's just we gotta work with what we have at the moment. What we
But with that
have,
7-mon draw, Josh is Ishan 10 now, I believe.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's had the 7-mon for a bit, and he's just kind of kept that off to his right. But yes, he is Ishan 10 now for a potential Pin Fudora too, which would be quite nice as dealer.
Gotta love Pinfu.
Big fan of Pin Fu. All right, there's a 5-pin comes out. Vince has also pushed the door at this point. We should notice. Mike takes the opportunity. The 5-pin being pushed by the West seat player, who is Julian. There we go.
And there's a Tempai for Josh.
Yep, Senpai for Josh is going to play out the 7-mon. Oh, it gets cheat. Okay.
Interesting from Vince.
Yep. So one more call out. So maybe the Dora was actually, just a tile that was drawn and discarded. I actually missed that. Could just be a Honitsu over there, but has got a lot of Manzu early. So maybe a Honitsu, but like, what are the odds that there's 2 Manzu Honitsus going on, Josh is still just Dama on Pinfu Dora too. Which would
Maybe he
be
drew himself into an Anko of South. There
possibly.
are.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Calling
Okay.
it. It is the South Aotezuke, or not even Aotezuke, but that is going to be Vince sumoing a Mangan Honitsu. It's going to be South Green Honitsu Dora 1 for a 5-Han Mangan. I believe we will probably be taking a brief break as we try to fix our technical difficulties.
But
Yeah.
looking so far at this game, Vince has come off to a very good start. I really a confidence booster for the rest of this hours. We also talking about the rest of the night. We don't know. Yeah, I believe we don't know yet who else is going to be playing during each of the hanchan because teams are able to swap out their player, I believe.
Yep. Okay. Let me just open this real quick. Believe we may be, hopefully. Yep, it looks like Wes, if you want to check our
Yeah,
broadcast channel,
it
I
looks like we're back.
believe we should be back just in time for South 1. But yeah, like you said, Vince coming out strong tonight with some very aggressive play to shut down these potential hands that would have let Josh run away with this even more. Has been it's all, and playing aggressive mahjong, it's always like you have to avoid being unlucky essentially and dealing in while fighting. Which, after a certain time, if you do it enough, it stops becoming not being unlucky and starts being lucky. But sometimes that's really all you need, especially when you're trying to make a humongous gap come back. Okay. But that is going to bring us into the south round. Vince's deal here with the 3-pin Dora has a Chun pair and 2 blue 5s. That is going to be a particularly potentially pricey hand here for Vince if he can get that together quickly. Julian's hand on our right, looking like it could have something. Has 2 completed runs already and a 7-9 so Kanchan. Pairs the Hatsu, so it's actually Rianchan 10 already. Could try to make something work around the 3-pin Dora.
Looking at Mike's hand, has a pair of the Souths. Uh, has the spare Greenwind that Julian's probably looking for. That's still Julian's looking for.
Yeah.
But otherwise, not much else.
Oh, it does draw a Dora, and that was the main gripe I have. Is like, there's a Roundman and there's Yakuhai. Oh, and there. Oh, the green gets passed by Julian. As it just came out from Josh. Yeah, potentially Mike can get like a quick South Dora 1, but from his position, maybe he wants a little bit more than that. Remember that the FalKAns did come in here a little bit below everyone else, and that's going to be Tempai already for Julian, who's haven't even gotten to all the hands yet. On the Hatsu was forced to the second time. It's now going to be Tempai for just Hatsu only, but you know you kind of have to take it. And then the hand that we haven't looked at yet, Josh's hand, the hand at first place, is actually Ishanten, and and a very strong potential Ishanten as well. Could be a Tanyao, a Sanshoku, multiple Dora, but it does not matter because Mike deals in pointing the south. Just 1k out. Do not be fooled by that 5,000 point stick. He just needs change. Game is flying. Very unfortunate for Vince there. Just like couldn't even get the tune by the time that Julian won the hand. And with two Dora in hand at least, it's something that you really would have liked to win as dealer.
Yeah, both of Vince's dealerships just out the window, you know. But you know that's mahjong sometimes. So
Yep, it really do be that way.
looking at Julian's opening hand, is this potential for Kokushi?
I'm not sure you can really like hard commit
2,
Kokushi, but like I think you might as well, right?
5,
It's
6,
like you
7,
hate
8.
to do it on your deal.
I mean, it's 3 Shanten, right?
It's 8 types with 2 pairs.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm a little bit more in on the idea of like a Honitsu with like the Haku and we just pawn everything. But like, you know, it really just depends on how you draw. But like drawing like that, you know, it's pretty appealing to just try to get a Sozu Honitsu. Unfortunately cannot make use of that 7-pin door. On our left, or on Julian's right, sorry, my left from my screen. Mike's already Ishanten with a Hatsu Anko. And could even potentially greed this all the way up for a Chanta. We'll see what ends up happening there. Unfortunately, it is a slightly harder hand than normal to get that Chun call for Mike. Josh's hand looking like it's fairly like well put together, but doesn't quite maybe not quite having the speed. And then Vince's hand does have the 7-pin Dora and some like nice shaves, but it's just like a couple steps behind, I think, Josh. We did see Julian draw on the 9-so. Played out the pay, so it does look like it's going to be a Kokushi look.
We've had a bunch of Kokushi attempts before, but no one has ever pulled off a Yakuman in
Yep.
N-League thus far.
Yep, we have yet to have the Yakuman happen in the league. If it were to happen, this would be the time. It's just a second place dealer Yakuman is one of the only conditions we have for anyone to be able to give the destroyers a run for their money. Mike's still just trying to get this to Tempai. It's not quite found it just yet. Josh's hand has progressed to what looks like a pretty nice Ishanten. Needing a 1-4-7-so, but also being able to take 5-6-so and 3-mon. That's going to be the Ricci out from Mike. I believe that is his first Tempai so far. As he is going to be waiting on that 7-pin Dora Penchan, looking to sumo it himself. And honestly, may not be a bad bet at this point, given that we do only see one of them held in hand. See, oh. It's not quite Tempai for Josh. I think trying to play around this. Yeah, feels no interest in fighting this. Even though it is not the dealer. Just is like perfectly happy to just sit content with like a chill 30k second. Though, could lose that second place if Mike does get this sumo. Checking back in on our Kokushi, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 still? No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 types. Really have not made a whole lot of progress, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And looking at other players' hands, it kind of looks like Julian will not get there,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Though does have the ability to keep fighting. Has not drawn a deal in tile yet, which is always the which is always the biggest dynamic to check for. At the moment, needs a 9-mon, a 1-so, a 9-pin, and a Chun. But yeah, that does not look particularly likely at this stage, just off of what other people have, as well as the overall board state.
And the
That
other
is,
players definitely suspect something's up with Julian's hand, considering he discarded 4 7-sos in a row.
yep, that is Josh cheating to Tempai though. Waiting on 3-so and 8-so for the Shampalm, trying to shut down this Ricci. Oh, he almost just auto discarded the East, but is now realizing that this is a very live tile. Honestly, if I'm worried about Kokoshi, I don't particularly hate just pushing live tiles because what are the odds that none of them are in the hand, right?
Well, Kokoshi's dead now.
Is it dead now?
The 1-sos are all gone, but
Oh, I see.
considering Mike is in Reach, Mike is in
Yeah, yeah,
Ricci,
yeah,
it's hard to be like, well,
yeah. True, true, true. Very fair. There's gonna be the sumo. Alrighty, Ricci, sumo, Hatsudora. It's gonna be a Mangan. That is going to put Julian kind of in the bin a little bit. Very just has not been able to get anything going, but going into South 3 of his game, there's already going to be some significant standing shakeup if things do not change quickly for the Destroyers. For second place.
and, looking at the Dora, Zora's South.
South
The
Dora always a little bit of an eye catch in the South round.
yeah,
Ooh, Mike just last second saves himself from not drawing his first tile. His first discard actually got pulled by Vince, so I guess we'll just let him slide. Cause
yeah. I believe we had an occurrence happen like this in last week, where the call is if the player has not discarded yet.
I will defer to
Uh,
you as I am not present to have to know the rules as much as I would love to take part in this league. But
I believe it's if the player has not drawn an extra tile or has discarded. I think those are the
sounds about
rules.
right. Always good to have that in writing. But anyway, Mike's hand has the South Dora, but really just nothing else that's worth writing home about.
Yeah.
Josh's hand kind of similar, except minus the South Dora.
Meanwhile, Vince is
Vince has
temping.
already called twice and is Tempai. It's what, 4-pin 7-so?
Yep.
Decides not to take the 4-mon. Maybe looking to not give away information. This early though, I think I like switching that out just because your hand's only 1,000 points at the moment. If you happen to draw the blue 5-mon, which we know is sitting in Julian's hand, but still, it's a quick way to double your score. Speaking of Julian, is he? I believe this is he Shantan. Yes,
Yeah.
very awkward Shantan.
Very. I'm not sure how I feel about discarding the 1-mon,
I think
but
he's just hard committing to using the red 5, which is fine. Especially from last place, you need to try to scrounge up as many points as you can.
that's fair.
So now he's Tempai. He's Tempai on all he can draw either of the other red 5s to Tempai as well, which would be quite good. That is an interesting draw. Because now you have potential for Pinfu. Personally, I think I'm a fan of just playing out 5-so here. And just praying that you draw a 4-mon. Oh, decides against it. Gonna look for the potential for 4-so draw, but really just looking to get either of those red 5s, pick up as many points as possible. Around the table, no one's Mike has progressed all the way to Ishante. Would need a 5-mon fill in, but not impossible by any means. And then could decide whether or not he wants to wait on the 1-4 pin or the Dora. I'm leaning Dora personally, especially with no one having cut one yet and Vince being open twice. It's not really a tile you want to push.
Yeah, definitely looks risky.
Josh is also not actually no. Josh is a little bit further away than I initially thought. If he could draw a 7-mon, he'd be in a very nice Ishanten, but just has not happened yet. Well, that is technically an Ishanten. Not an Ishanten that Josh wants, but it is an Ishanten. Oh, we did see by the way, we did see Julian pair up the 5-mon. That is a 6-mon draw, so we'll see what Julian wants to do here now, because the 7-mon, he knows the 7-mon is dead. So the 4-7-mon wait isn't really as appealing as it normally is. Going to hold on to it just in case, but this could actually even potentially just be like Tanyao. Like Tanyao Akatu, something like that. Would be kind of nice.
I'll take that any
Yeah.
day of the week.
This needs to draw any 5 to Tenpai, but can also draw the 4-mon. Would not be particularly upset about it. Vince has not had the opportunity to change, or at least not to something that he wants. Any Rionman that he's been offered has been Furry 10 off of a tile that he previously discarded by declining a hanchan. Still just waiting on Mike to try to spice up the table by getting that upgrade. And Josh still just kind of working with what he has.
Well, Mike is furry 10 on the 4 side of the upgrade, and the 7s are, unbeknownst to him, dead. So he really is looking for just the 5-mon as
Oh,
is
yeah,
in.
yeah. But even like the 5-mon hanchan's fine if you draw the Dora. Like you just throw the stick in.
Yeah.
Alrighty, but yep, looks like Vince is going to pick up the 1K there and does get the win. And that takes us into all last in under an hour. Oh, we are zooming. So let's see. So as we approach this all last, we do have Josh as the last dealer in a fairly comfortable second place, 5K up on Mike. Mike can sumo any 3-han 30 fu hand or higher and overtake that gap to get second place. Would need at least a Hanuman to get first place. Julian, unfortunately, just outside of Mangan sumo range of the overtake for third place at 10,300 points down. And Vince just kind of chilling, just doing whatever he wants. I do see what I believe 3 Mondora.
Yes, and looking at opening hands, Vince's hand very much would love a 3-mon right now.
Yes. He does have reason to believe that it is going to be difficult for people to use because he does see 3 of the 4-mon. So at the very least, he can be comfortable about the fact that if someone's using the Dora, it's probably an Ananko, which is really not all that comforting. Josh's hand does have the 6-mon Anko and the nice looking shape of the Sozu. Still has a couple of extra tiles to cut off in the East and the Hatsu. Just needs to make that happen and can try to make a run at first place here. And then Vince's hand we've already discussed. Just kind of had looking for the Dora, a couple Rionmen, nothing really finished yet. Julian's hand actually looks pretty nice. Does have a Dora, 9-mon Anko, could be pretty quick to Tenpai, but just won't be enough points, so he's gonna have to get creative with it. And Mike's hand, I like Mike's hand a lot here. Does have the red 5, so is actually Ishanten. It's a very awkward Ishanten. Because you're either gonna wait Ape and Kanchan or you're gonna wait 1 Forso, but this is the worst 1 Forso wait of all time.
Yeah.
It's a 3-tile Shanpon where you're using 5 of your weights. Uh-oh, and it looks like our technical difficulties have reared their head again. However, that is going to be Josh Tenpai. See what weight he wants here. The Hatsu is 1 cut. Does decide to go with it though.
Yeah, I personally prefer this weight.
I agree.
I like
1
waiting
cut.
on honors.
Yeah, 1 cut honors are definitely something that you can just catch deal-ins on without people really thinking too hard about it. Because honestly, it's turn 6, you know? If you don't have a couple specific tiles in your hand, what are you going to defend with? Whereas 3 pin's not really a tile that comes out on accident. Plus, you can get more points if you sumo. Always fun. This is at the moment just Riichi Nomi, but Riichi Sumo Hatsu would propel Josh into first place. That being said, he would not be able to stop because we are playing without Agariyama, or with no Agariyama, no wind stop. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
Um, but
I'm always a little
however,
bit.
he doesn't need the points. His
Yeah.
team doesn't. I mean,
Yeah, I'm always a little bit more of a fan of like a rule set where you can choose to stop if you want to, but you don't have to. Which isn't really something that you can do online. It just kind of has to be one or the other. But IRL, I think I would like to see more people experimenting with that because there are some times where I'm like the last dealer. I just want it to be over because like especially and that's gonna be a direct hit on Vince. Finish that thought later. No Uro, so just Richihatsu. No Fu either, or no 50 Fu. So just gonna be 3,900, which I believe is enough to switch our placing. Just barely. Yep, just barely.
Mhm.
Actually, a little bit more than just barely. It's going to be 2,300 points up. However, with a 1,500 point Alma put in the middle, that is still going to be enough for Vince. Vince can win any hand and still get first place in this game.
You're reading my mind. I do love reminding people at home about Big Hamba. That is
Big
on
Alma.
online here.
1,500 points in the middle. Looks like we are going to be pausing here for the technical difficulties. But yeah, like I'm saying here though, what something that I would like to see more places like try to experiment with is have the option for a Gariyame, because I don't like. I suppose it's a bit like unfair, right? Because no one else has that option. You can't just like give up your deal when you want to. But like it doesn't that situation where you want to give up your deal but you're not the last dealer doesn't really come up almost ever. But when you're playing like in a tournament final or in a league final like this, if you're in first place as the last dealer, that's like inherently disadvantageous to you
Mhm.
because you can't end the game, which means that the game has to end on someone else's own terms, or you have to get all the way through a hand and just be no 10. So it's a significant disadvantage if you're like in the lead of a tournament to be the last dealer.
Yeah. In in a table like bracket tournament, I would say in if it was like an open field, it's hard where it's hard to know everyone's specific scores,
Yeah.
then I guess you would want it off off.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's all situational.
Yeah.
I'm just like I'm all for the player having more agency.
Sure.
It looks like we are back. Quick delay there. Yeah, sorry about that tonight, folks. There's been a lot of moving pieces to bring you this final Nomi League stream, and we appreciate everyone who is working hard behind the scenes to continue to bring the action to you at home.
Moving pieces, moving venues.
Yes,
I s-
the moving venue is the big part. I just wasn't sure how how much I'm supposed to say. Um. Anyway, we do see Josh here as last dealer. Again, does have a couple good roundmen in hand, but not really any opening chances. The hand looks like it might be a little slow unless it gets some good fill-ins like 3-mon.
you
Vince, who
know,
is
yeah, Vince has good opening chances. Has a pair of the
yeah,
Southwind.
the double
Uh,
south and a Dora from the red 5 could very easily get enough value here, but does need to find that south.
yeah.
Julian's still just looking to find anything. Can actually overtake with a Manga and Sumo now. I think does see the potential path here. 789 Sanshoku looking very, very live. Could also even incorporate a Jinchan, or even just pair of Adora. Vince going to aggressively open, though, cheese the 7-mon without even having the South yet, a term called Autozuke. Or only having like half of your winning tiles be actual like win conditions because you do not have a Yaku on the other hand. And then we get to Mike's hand, who has two pairs. Has honestly just kind of really mediocre shapes in general, but does have that South. So we will see what happens.
Yeah.
That
Julian having to
South.
think about this Tumon. Uh, And thinking about, I guess, which shape to get rid of.
Yeah, because this is now quite difficult if you're Julian, because this is the shape that isn't the Sanchoku, and he is gonna go ahead and break the entire block. I think the other play you can make there is to play for Richisumo Dora 2 and play out like whichever you prefer of 9-7 pin and 9-8 mon, and then you just try to get a second Dora and then just Richi and Sumo. Because with the Homa, that will be enough points to overtake. Okay, we do see there's the south call from Vince. Hasn't progressed the hand just yet, so still Ishanten, but that is not what you want to see if you're Josh. Though, really, if you're Josh, like, you're just kind of chilling. Like, you can't end the game, so it's like, well, a chill second place is very okay. Especially if the person closest to you is getting fourth out of it. That being said, Vince is showing at least 3,900 plus 1,500 points of value, so it's not necessarily something you want to deal into. Is it just one more Han, which is very easy, given that Dora is very usable, would make this a Mangan, and 9,500 points is not something you want to pay, even if you are big chilling like the Triad are. Just to remind everyone, we do have the Dora is the 6 pin for this hand. That is why you see Julian Desperate holding onto it, who has now drawn a 1-so back. And now is going to actually play out that Dora, just aiming for the Junshan. I do like this play. Now has many options to potential Junshan here. Unfortunately, the Sanchoku portion is no longer going to be an option. However, on 7-mon, 8-pin, 9-mon, or 9-pin draw, Julian is going to have a chance to overtake. Oh, it's Tenpai for Vince. On 3-pin, the best tile. My favorite tile.
I believe our club is very partial to the 7-pin.
Yes, the 7-pin is the best tile according to that one YouTube video. But more importantly for Vince, that's another red 5. So this is a Mangan value worth of hand now. Obviously, you would like a better weight. But you can't really do anything about that, and so you'll take your Tenpai and be happy with it. Though it is, but there is a world, I think, where Mike draws a tile that makes him want to cut 3-pin. I don't think it's particularly likely, but it is possible. I believe there is one. No, there are no 3-pin in the wall, so Vince cannot win on this weight unless Mike deals in. Julian still
Potentially, Vince could draw the red 5. Or
the red
yeah, red
5
5
pin.
pin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a Dora Yeet from Mike. Feeling okay about it after Julian passed it a few turns ago. Probably knows that if he deals into Julian, if he deals into Vince, he's almost never like changing position. But like still, -9 would be less than ideal. Oh, and speaking of, there's the red 5 pin. Mike's hand quickly becoming fairly difficult to play. And Julian is slowly watching the 8-pin die. Really needs to find Tenpai. Oh, there it is!
And immediately reaches.
Yep, have to. Alright, so it's Richi Junshan. It's already a Mangan. However, you don't really want to Dama that because then you can only, you can only sumo or you can only win on sumo or a direct hit on your direct competition. Whereas in this case, like now that it's Richi Junshan, like in a desperate case, you can like take an Ipatsu Ron and try to get Ura. Or you can take a Ron off of anyone and try to get Ura, or you can just like, get some points out. Oh yeah, sorry. You don't want to down that because Junshan Nomi is just not enough points unless you sumo or a direct hit. Yeah. Whereas like now, you can at least get a Mangan if someone deals in. Should not quite be enough to overtake, but it's something. And you get Hanuman chances on sumo, which is how you're planning on winning this hand anyway. So we have a dead 3-pin weight versus a 7-mon weight that has, I do not know how many tiles live. I see 2 in our players' hands and 1 in Vince's calls. So there may be 1 available on the wall, unless someone has
Yep.
discarded it.
I believe you're counting correctly. I'm
Yep.
also trying to count.
I don't believe someone's discarded it. Therefore,
Yeah.
Now, Vince dealing in would be absolutely tragic. Oh, and it becomes Suji. Vince also probably sees here that if he's Tenpai and Josh is no 10, which is what looks like is probably going to be the case, as we see that Josh has been folding. If Vince can hold this Tenpai, he's going to win this game.
Although Mike might deal in here to Vince,
Yeah, which would
considering the
be
tiles that are being cut.
yeah, it's got the 1-1-2 pin. Could get risky. However, oh, that's gonna be a Tenpai. Oh wait, no, Tenpai change for Vince. Now waiting 4-pin 5. So if we do a quick glance, I don't see nearly as many of those, but it does not matter. Vince 5 is the safer route and does take home first place in this game, just barely. But with the big Uma, that is going to be a pretty big deal. Do you happen to know what happens to Ricci 6 left over?
I believe they're just not counted in
Yeah.
our format.
Yeah, there's
So,
the two ways that they to go about it is they're either lost or they go to first place because you don't want them changing. You don't want them changing standing.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yep, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. It looks like our players are just having a discussion about this last hand here. Just not quite. Neither player quite able to pull in their big win. I think Vince trying to find where the 3-pin were. Yep. Scores are being entered. Naturally, as this is the finals, we want the participants to have as much information as possible so they can make the most informed decisions about what they're doing. I believe this is going to be about a +50 for the Sours and a similar loss for the Destroyers. So that should be a new second place team. However, the FalKAns are going to lose a small bit and the Triad are going to win a small bit, and that is not going to change anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the teams are making any changes. But it looks like Josh has gotten up.
Yep,
We'll see.
that is the case as well. This is probably the first and only time of the season that we might actually see teams substitute mid-session. This has not quite been a 1-to-1 parallel for M League in the fact that not ever it's not exactly easy for a team to have half of its members available on standby to play one hanchan each on a Thursday or Friday night. So
Looking at the player rankings, the individual player rankings, the Destroyers could bring in their second overall total score holder, Michael.
yes,
Not sure if that's what their plan is, and uh, the FalKAns could bring in Claire
yep,
for their highest score of the
yep.
season.
Multiple top 10 overalls represented here. Uh, Actually, now that I'm looking at the overall player rankings, it's kind of cursed because only 8 players in the entire league were positive.
Oh, I didn't I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's just all 8 of those players were at least plus 100. And of those players, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are of those 8 positive players. 6 of them are represented here tonight. Unfortunately, the ones left out were the PO of the Emperor Penguins and Kevin of the Yakumen, who were not quite who finished 5th and 6th, not quite able to sneak into that 4th place.
Each individually, though, had very great games. I'm not sure if you're able to catch those or if we
Yeah,
commentated those.
I believe we commentated one of PO's war crime games. But like, with PO, it's like a question of like, oh, only one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Julian was the actually. Yeah, the Destroyer's ace Michael still could potentially be waiting in the wings, as could their captain Amy. The rest of the roster for the Sours could be waiting around, though it could be Calvin and Wei. Both could potentially be subbing in as well, though we could see Mr. Captain Vince just say, I'll do it myself." The Triad has all three has 3 players that finished positive out of the 8 total players in the league. So that Josh was technically their ace, but they also have Christian who finished at 4th and Eric who finished at 8th. And anyone in New York is well familiar with Eric and his overall skill at this game.
Do you think the Triad just did like rock paper scissors and
I think
or
the
just
Triad was
rolled
just
for the
like, all
starting
right.
order?
I feel like Triad was just like, all right, who wants to play and is it convenient? You don't really have to think too hard. It's just like, all right, like let's just go. Just like don't int and we're good. Whereas everyone else is probably like racking their brains, like, all right, how the hell do we like? All right, let's do some UMA math. Like, all right, if we get first 3 times, they get fourth 3 times. And how many
Either
points
that
do
or they're
we
playing for second, like
Yeah. And playing for second in the inaugural session is like, very very reasonable. And we looks like we do see that Michael is being subbed in for the Destroyers. The second place overall finisher in the league with a higher score than any team. His individual score is higher than any team but the Triad. So he has definitely been the one to look out for thus far for the Destroyers. We do see that Eric is being put in for the Triad. We'll see if the other teams do something similarly. And up with the FalKAns, it's not particularly easy to have Claire and Andreas sub in and out because they are also involved in, the setup and making sure that works.
yes, they are part of the production team, but I do recall Claire talking about what their macro strategy is for the final table, which is try to get as many Yakuman as possible. Just
That does
rack up the
seem like
points.
that does seem like a good plan. Did not seem to go very well for Mike. But
No,
we'll see if Andreas can make something change. Every time I've casted Andreas, he's been absolutely cursed, so we'll see what happens.
they can't quite tell who the last player is.
It looks like they are sitting down without a name tag, so we will just guess.
If I had to guess, it's by the mannerisms alone. Weibin? Hey!
Yeah, there we go. Classic Wavin. As soon as you said mannerisms, it's like, okay, it's Wavin. I love Wavin.
It's a little bit of the shirt, a little bit of the mannerisms,
Yeah.
But
Looks
I
like it's
believe
gonna
we're
be
just searching for Andres before we start this table.
it's a classic. Aren't we at his place? Or I guess no, because we had to move. But it is gonna be Eric here starting off as dealer, who really just kind of just has to play Mahjong. I don't think we'll see anything too wacky out of him. Just probably some principled defensive play. And then we will see. I'm trying to all right, Andreas is going to be in the south seat. Michael will be in the west seat, and then Wabin is going to be our 4th player in the north seat. And that is actually so. Like I was saying earlier, it's a double-edged sword because if you're not in first place, last dealer is exactly what you want. Because then you're essentially playing like a game where the game's only going to end when someone decides to end it. So that means you can kind of keep racking up points while other people try to go for like super low percentage miracles, and you can just kind of like play for the fastest hand every time. And instead of having to be faster than 4 players every time, you just have to be faster than whoever's winning. Eric has somehow deigned to find 2 of the blue 5s already.
I believe those might be Eric's own extra blue 5s.
I feel like
It looks like, it's a different colored back, I think.
I see. So let's keep an eye for any suspicious tile backs in Eric's hand. As that seems... If anyone can get away with it on camera...
It's very... I mean, to my vision, it's clearly enough that it is darker. At least that blue 5 in particular. It's back. But yes, Eric, very, very good at handling the tiles.
Yeah.
Very shall I say, suave, I guess is the
Yeah.
word.
The last time I spent time in New York, I I was present at a time when Eric and Headcube played Cheating On. It was I was not sober enough to really take in what was going on, but it was interesting. Alrighty.
Are you gonna be here for the Orishinomi Open?
Of course, of course.
For those of you at home who don't know, our club Richinomi is having a Richinomi Open, and I believe all spots are filled, but we are going to be hanging out in New York, and I think it's okay if people just drop by, say hi, maybe watch the tables, be be respectful. But
Yeah, I'm not
supposed to be
necess-
big.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sure that there's going to be room in that venue for spectators, but I know that there will be free play probably throughout most of the night, on both days one and two. I will be partaking aggressively. If you are attending and did not get the email that went out today, it is unfortunately due to uncontrollable circumstances. The venue is not moving to their new venue, so we will be playing at the same venue as last year. In which by the fourth hanchan it was like 90 degrees. So
Oh,
it was a great time. There were the chombos per game definitely went up as the day went on. But I think by the evening when people cleared out, and also just by day two they had gotten the AC situation to be a little bit better, and with a few other things going on this year, I don't think it'll be as much of a problem. However, with more games to be played, I personally am going to start just endurance training because it seems fun.
but it does look like Andres has finally sat down in I believe that's a Pirates jersey. Uh,
I would guess so.
it
Pirates, similar to the FalKAns, were eliminated today from M League.
hopefully going to bring some better luck to the jersey than the Pirates did.
Yeah, they
But it
uh they
seems like our
actually
players
had
are ready,
they
almost.
actually had a very reasonable chance at getting out of fifth place, and just didn't quite get it done in Tuesday's session, and then needed a lot of luck to go their way. That just did not happen today. So the finals of M League will be for Kazan Fight Club, Raiden, a lot of Western Raiden fans, and my team, the Abemas. I don't really know why I like Abemas. I just kind of do. They have good colors, and their players are fun, and they've gotten third every single season.
I mean, it's good to be consistent, right?
Yes, I would like to win. You can only get third for so long before it's just like, all right, like I'd rather just lose, you know? At least just for something different. Alrighty, looks like we are getting into it. This is going to be our second game. Eric is going to be starting as dealer with the East Dora. Always something to be slightly worried about.
And not a
Eric is drawing
con of
the.
6-0 and just high pie?
No, I think that's 2-6-0 and 2-9.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
yeah, Eric also almost drew from the wrong wall. Would have, and combine that with the fact that his sleeves are a little bit suspicious, since we're gonna have to be looking at him carefully. Does have a pretty nice looking hand though already. Has 8 Mononko, West pair, 6-0 pair, 9-0 pair. I don't imagine he'll be trying to send this for a Toy Toy. A player that needed a lot more points could have even conned that 8 Mon that just came out. But Toy Toy, I think, is probably a little bit more dangerous than is necessarily needed for what Eric wants to do here. Andreas's hand has 7 tiles to an Itsu. No sign of the East Dora in either of the first two hands we've looked at. Does have
Although
a
they are
West.
sharing the West Winds with each other.
Yeah, the West pair being Mochi Mochi is not great, and neither of them is really likely to cut it either. But neither of them really wants to pawn it either, so it's like kind of moot, you know.
Yeah.
Michael's hand does have a floating East. South pair, 2-3-4 pin.
Not much else looks like.
Yeah.
A couple of 3 mon, 3-4-5 mon. So it's not bad, but not super fast.
Yeah. And
Uh,
then lastly, Weibin Sand. Looks like he's got a Chun pair in there.
yeah, Chun
Uh,
pair, potential Chanta.
yeah. Also has the Dora. Yep, the Dora in there could potentially make something happen as well. Maybe you pawn the Chun and move down to a Dora Tonki, though it does look like he just passed one from Eric. Eric Ishanten could potentially be looking for his San Anko Richi if he can draw to Tempai. Andreas, not quite Ishanten, but has a similar dream with Itsu. And Michael, is Michael Ishanten? Can't quite tell. I believe he is. Yes. Is that 2 3 3 4 5 on the right?
Uh, it's 2 3 4 6 7 Mon. Or no,
Okay.
Mon from Michael. I can't
Yeah, for
tell.
Michael. Okay, yeah. So it looks like he's moving in. He's got a Sunmenchan in the Manzu and a Ryanman in the Pinzu. Just looking for Pinfu. And then Weibin's hand still just hasn't quite gotten anywhere, though. Is Ryansha 10 for a potential Sanshoku 1 2 3? No one really drawing much of anything just so far. One Dora has been pushed by Andreas. We'll just kind of see who gets temp by. That is technically a shot, like a half upgrade, but Michael doesn't really want it. Prefers to greed the Dora, which for the destroyers makes
Understandable. Very understandable.
yeah. Especially when you need points. That was the other thing I forgot to do is check on the updated standings. After that first game, Queen's Mahjong Triad sitting at 499 with a 395-point lead over the Brooklyn Sours at 103.6. The Destroyers dropped from second to third at 82.0, and the FalKAns are at negative 27.5. So need 110 points just to get out of the basement. Which, with the UMA and 2 games still to play, definitely possible. However, certainly not particularly likely. We have seen pretty much no progress, though that is a fantastic draw for Weibin. Is going to go ahead and push out that East Dora. And now all of a sudden the greedy East Dora for Michael is now just like, a pretty good safe tile. Funny how that works. We did see Andreas fill in a red 5, so I'm interested to see whether or not he would pull the West Eric. I don't think it'll happen, but like you could try to convert this to a Holy 2. It'd just be quite late. Yep, and it looks like Eric is willing to respect any potential Dama on the table and just doesn't really feel the need to try to greed this hand. His Shanten is quite poor.
That is Tempai from Weibin,
That
but
is,
not for
yep.
Chanta.
Yeah, is gonna Dama Sanshoku Nomi. So would be a quick 2600, but will be looking to pick up that 9. So that's gonna be the Ricci. Oh, and draws the red 5 pin. We'll see, or the blue 5 pin, but it's gonna be a 147 mile away for Michael versus a 2 so away for Weibin. We'll see if he decides to chase here. No, decides to just play it safe here. They are second place. No need to do anything rash. Oh, we do see the Chi from Andreas. Going to actually is looking to try to shift this to a Honitsu. Probably just trying to get as many points as possible here, but also just trying to be Tempai. Yeah, we did see Weibin break that Tempai, though is still Ishanten actually. Now Andreas has drawn a deal in tile, so if he does try to continue pushing for Tempai, he's going to have to incorporate it or just pay out the Richie Pin Fedora one. If that hits Ura, then that's going to be quite unfortunate. Eric just solidly folding, has no reason to do anything else. Andreas is probably about to feel the same, given that he's not even not even, I think it's like 2 Shanten or something. Yeah, there's gonna be West West, which Eric knows is safe. Last 9 so comes out. Anything that Weibin can do that is Tempai doesn't want it. Would have had to push an 8 pin. Which, yeah, by no means does 8-pin look particularly good to this board. So looks like it's gonna be Michael only one Tenpai unless he can get this last draw here. He does have the Haite because of the 1 chi. So we'll see if Andreas can get a chance here to change that. Does not. So it is going to be Michael with a Haite and a Sun Menchan. We could see it happen.
Be really big.
No. Oh, misses it by a tile. 1k all for Michael and the Destroyers. Really not what you want to see with a Sun Menchan like that, but like it's a like you're essentially plus 3,000 on everyone, and your hand was worth 3,900, so it's not the end of the world.
Who this really benefits though is Andres. He gets a potential. Well, he gets his dealership, and then he gets potential Humba. So remember,
Yeah,
big Humba, big possibilities.
yeah. The head start of the Hombo is quite nice, starting at 1,500 instead of 0. If you can get a dealer streak, that's a lot of extra points. It's going to rack up over the course of a dealer streak if you can make it happen.
And he even starts with the Dora in hand, which is the
Yep.
5-mon.
That being said, the rest of this hand is not particularly
No completed shapes, but you
hopeful.
know.
No completed shapes, only one Rionman, and it's kind of like functioning.
There we
Okay, well,
go.
there we go. All right.
go.
You know, when your hand's that bad, like most draws are gonna help, right?
True, true.
Michael's hand on our right looks a little bit more structured, however. It's still a little bit awkward. Lots of hanchan.
Waven's hand does not look all that structured. Has the 1-2-3 pin and a pair of 1-so, but other than that, needs some help. And Eric has a pair of Haku and a pair of 1-so. The other pair of 1-so, I should say. But is slowly building his way to something.
Yeah, yeah. The Haku pair, I think, definitely is probably the selling point on Eric's hand. I think like in a situation where you need points, I think this is like in Iron 22, which he may even still be going for. However, like again, as we've reiterated, uh, Eric doesn't really need points. He can just kind of do. That is a nice draw in for Waven. Third pair, maybe a potential like very distant Tanya shift. I'm really grasping at straws here. That is 4 pairs for Eric, all in Sozu as well. So I think that is going to be Honitsu, just because I think that's the fastest way to play the hand. Andreas's hand has definitely improved. However, the you kind of just want this to be open Tanya at this point, but the open Tanya route currently does not need the Dora, which is somewhat awkward. And then Michael has a pretty nice looking Rian Shantan. Yeah, that's a kind of awkward draw. Yeah, I like just throwing that back. I think the Pinzu shape doesn't really need any help, and you're just looking to call for Tanya Dora 1. Or actually, it's Tanya Dora 2. That is the double Dora in hand for Michael. Forgot about that part. No calls coming out
Double
from
the Dora,
anyone.
double the fun, as they say.
Yep. Ishantan here for Andreas. Again, still an awkward Kanchan, Ishantan for... Oh, now triple the Dora. Going to go ahead and lock the door pair, it looks like.
I like
Definitely,
it.
yeah, gonna be a little bit tough to win the hand as Tanya now, though, because you probably like you need either 4 Manchi specifically, or you need and you need 6 Sochi, or you need Pawns. Not always the easiest thing to find. Okay. Andreas has upgraded his Ishanten, now Rionmen Kanchan. Could just go for Tanya Nomi, pick up the 2,500 in the middle. But again, that 5 Mondora is just very awkward to cut, and you know it's getting pwned if it does get cut. Or well, you don't if you're Andreas, but we do because we know everything.
Oh, there's a 6-so, so I guess potentially you can keep the 6-os as your pair and hopefully pick up a 6-mon if you're
Yeah,
Andres.
that seems really tough. Yeah. I think I prefer this route as well for Andreas here, just because like the Dora is like good, but it's not like guaranteed, and I'd rather just have at least one good shape here, because you just need to you like winning this hand is more important than winning a bomb here, and
Sure.
you can
Yeah.
still draw like 3 mon or something. We do see the or the 6 chi come out for Michael. Now Ishanten needs 3 mon, 4 mon, or 5 mon on top of the 258 pin. There's going to be a chi here for Weibin. 789 chi looks like he could just be going for a very late Tanyao or even just like a Tenpai. Eric's Honitsu Chitoi hasn't really found any ground anywhere. Doesn't look like that is changing. 7 pin's a little bit awkward here if you're Weibin, but it's certainly better than 1, so. See if Eric wants to palm that. No. He's either going to fold or get Chitoi. Very reasonable. That is not the draw you wanted to see if you're Andres. Like you can, I think it's it's now or never on the Dora. It is going to be never. Okay. Oh, I see. So now he sees the 567 Sanchaku. I think he thinks the value upgrade there is worth the weight downgrade. Plus, once someone's open for what looks like a Tanya, the Dora 5 mon is significantly more risky. And he is correct that it would be risky. In this particular case, it would be
Moves away from the Sanshoku though with that cut.
yeah, the Sun mention is just better. And that's gonna be 3 mon, 5 mon waiting for Michael for Tanya Dora 3. Tanya Dora 3 so far. The thing is, like, if you're Andreas here and you draw like 4 or 7 mon, like I think you're kind of obligated to just jam the Dora and pray. Oh, that's Ishanten for Eric's Honitsu Chitoi. Not really sure how live the tiles look, but it is Ishanten.
I don't think Andres is the type of person who will do it.
Oh,
So.
that's
Just knowing him
Tenpai.
as a
Yep, there it is. All right.
oh
Oh, unfortunate. I mean, you're dealer. You
yeah.
have like, I mean, it was also Nakasuji to Michael, which may have influenced that decision.
Mm-hmm.
But yep, gonna be a very unfortunate payout. Like I said, every time I cast Andreas, he's just cursed. But also, like, it's his dealer. His team is down a lot.
Yeah, I think if Andres was in his own game, he wouldn't do that. But
Yeah. Like, put me in like a ladder game or put me in like a tournament game that's like not so do or die. Like, I'd probably try to like Mawashi that, find a way around. Maybe you play like four so. Maybe you play like some of the Pinzu if they look safe. But in that case, I think it's just a very reasonable push that just didn't happen to go well.
but looking at opening hands here, Michael kind of has a little bit of a slow start, I would say. Has a completed 6, 7, 8, and 9 so block, but other than that, not a whole lot. Uh, moving over to Weibin, has a lot of pairs, potential Chitoi. Not sure if that's really what the Sours want, but
Yeah, I mean, he does have a Dora, so like, that is the like Richisumo Chitoi Dora too. Guaranteed Hanemon, always a nice plane to go for, and you can even flip to Ura 2 for Baimon.
meanwhile, Eric has already completed 2, 3, 3, 4 pin and 2 pairs of honor tile of dragon tiles that he could potentially call at any point.
Yeah,
Uh,
Eric, I
and
think
given team's place, he might as well.
yeah, I think
Maybe.
he's definitely gonna be looking for just like a quick pull and go here, and can even like aggressively chi anything because he can't ever end up without a Yaku. That's gonna be the
Yep.
pawn on the
And
white. Notably,
there.
he does decide to cut the door indicator there rather than the north. Like Eric putting a priority on having at least a safe tile at all times here. So it's certainly significantly more efficient and like more valuable to hold back the to cut. Oh wow. Well, that's a draw.
Eric's gonna cut the 3 mon here.
I think the 3-pin is probably slightly better because, as you can see, it's already been cut twice, and yeah, there it goes.
Oh, okay.
So you can't actually get your pair on the 3-pin, whereas like the 3-mon you can still like kind of luck into and draw. So I think Eric is probably going to be aiming to just have his final weight be the north, and then he can just kind of like
Yeah,
switch that
that's what
around.
I was thinking, cutting the
Yeah,
3-mon and then the 3-pin, but this works too.
yeah, and he's just going to be trying to move that around and try to find something flexible. Who knows? Maybe he draws a Chun. I only see 2 of them. That is pretty good as well.
Yep.
Yep, there goes the 3-mon. The north is looking like it's here to stay. Other hands that could potentially shut this down. Kevin really checked back in on those. Andreas does have fairly nice looking shapes. Does have 1 red 5, potential for 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku. Like the works is just like it's just slower than Eric. Just like, everyone's hand's slower than Eric here. Michael's hand probably not going to get it done here, even as dealer. Looking like it would just be Chunomi, though that is a fantastic draw for Andreas, as he does fill in the Dora to that potential 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku. Now Ishanten for it. If he can fill in a Forso, he's like just chilling. Probably can't afford a Dama because the payout on like the low out is so bad, or like is not enough. Not 3,900 is never bad. It's just not enough here. Weibin's hand is starting to make its way towards maybe being normal, but still does have 4 pairs. Eric yeets the red 5. Yep, that's gonna be the chi for Andreas. So that's gonna be 4 So Tenpai. And that's gonna be Sanshoku Dora 3. And that is a pretty big deal for Andreas to be able to try to find. Do you see any of the Forso?
I do just in Weibin's hand, but other than that,
Oh, and where Weibin just paired the Dora, so he's not Chito Ishanten. I think he's probably willing to fight this. He's not going to cut a Forso unless he draws another one. The thing with Andreas' hand as well is that the Sanshoku is confirmed, so he can actually upgrade that weight.
yeah,
And with a 5, 6, 7 chi, especially on the red, like if he ever draws like a 2-so or something, like the 1-so is not a tile you expect to ever deal in there. You just think that he's Tanya. Oh, Eric does get Tempai. Does pair the north finally, as we've been waiting for this whole time.
I thought it was going to be the other way around. He gets
Yeah. I was fully expecting it to be the other way around as well. It did not happen. Yep. Eric's switching out with the safer 2-pin. Makes sense. Obviously don't want to feed into any random red 5 Shanpons or things like that. 5-1 comes out from Michael. Michael's hand still just, it looks like it's going towards a Honitsu. But it just hasn't quite gotten all of its parts together just yet. Not being able to find the Chun has been quite bad.
well,
Eric gets the red. Yeah,
Andres
sorry.
discard a Chun, and Michael did decline to pick it up.
Oh, yeah, I completely missed that.
Uh,
Interesting. I wonder why that happened. That is Ishanten for this close Honitsu now for Michael. Also, Eric has switched out for the red 5-pin, so this hand is now worth at least 5,200. It's Hatsu Haku Dora 1 with 40 Fu. Where are these Forso? They fit nicely into Michael's hand, but not really anyone else's.
yeah, the last two are probably
Yeah,
just still chilling.
yeah. Eric's probably asking the same thing about the 6-9 So, but we see 2 of them in Waven's hand, and we see 4 of them in Michael's hand. And we see 1 of them in Andreas' hand. So there's really only 1 tile left, and that 1 tile that we don't see has been discarded. So Eric's 6-9 So way, as good as it looks, isn't actually still in the wall. Ooh, Andreas with the opportunity to shift weights here, decides not to. Thinks that the 5 So is probably a little bit too suspicious to play at this point in the hand. And you can't really play the 3 So because then you can only win on the 5 So and you can end up for 10. And that's not fun. Oh, Weibin actually did draw the 4 So, but the 5-pin weight is so sketchy at the moment that he's not willing to push it just yet. We'll see. I don't think we'll see Weibin push that unless he gets Tenpai.
Also, just as a side note, Kansai Chitoi is off.
Oh yeah. Kansai Chitoi, for anyone not familiar, is 4 of a kind Chitoi. which I think should be on.
I agree. I 100% agree. Love Kansai Chitoy.
I think
Not
it's just like if I want my tile acceptance to be worse on Chitoy, then that's my own thing. Eric
and
breaks
there's
his
Suma.
tempo. Oh. Eric broke his tempo just before that, but did not matter. It was the scary looking East that he did not want to play. And Andreas gets most of his points back. Did pay out a Mongun with Homba, and then Suma's a Mongun back. So it's a net plus swing for him on everyone except the player he dealt into, which was Michael. Just barely. Paid out 9,500, Sumoed 8K. Took some points from other people to make it a little bit of a slight positive for him. And that does take us into, that's what, East 4? Yeah, East 4. East 4. And the scores are quite tight at the bottom. And Michael has just kind of been doing his destroying thing so far. That one handoff of Andreas has really been the decider so far.
Glancing at opening hands, I see Eric has paired up the East Wind and the West Wind.
Yep, and has other pairs as well. Willing to take the Atazuka here. Also has Dora pair. Could even just shift this towards a Toy Toy if needed. Weibin's hand kinda, I mean, it has a red 5, and it has like a couple decent Rionmen. It's just like the bad tiles in Weibin's hand are just really bad.
Yeah.
That Night Sojo does help though. Andreas's hand, not too shabby. Does have 3 pairs. It's like, no, it's pretty bad. I think Andreas is sending it for either Kokoshi or Chitoy, or sorry, not Chitoy, or Honitsu. It's a very far send for Kokoshi. However, this hand is really bad. It's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 types in a pair, which we've seen worse happen. Not in this league, but in general. And then Michael's hand looks like just a pretty chill Pinfu. It's actually Ishanten, but probably not an Ishanten you actually want. Because you would have to take like a Dora Kanchan weight or something, and there's a whole lot of Rionman upgrades no matter what tempo you get here. Tuso, not really something that contributes to that though. Yeah, Wavin is still just needing to find a use for the bad tiles in his hand. Eric needing to find an East pair, or an East pawn, though has now found a 5th pair, or like a 5th like pawn candidate. So
Yeah.
this could be it could be Toy Toy if needed. Does not have to get the East. So let's be honest, if you're getting Toy Toy here, you're probably getting the East anyway. Ugh. I like Andreas's watch.
Oh, so I know a little bit about that watch. Andres's watch was a gift from Claire for his birthday,
Aww.
and I believe that was February. He got it this February. But that
We,
watch was
apo- we
a little bit too big
apologize
at
for our
first.
lack of knowledge about Andreas's birthday.
The watch was a little bit too big at first, but we worked it out. We found
Yeah.
someone to take it in.
Oh. And then in a year or so, he can regift it. What? In other news, Michael is Ishanten for Pinfu. Eric still has not found any of the pawns that he would like to make. And Andreas is... No, I think Andreas has given up on the Kokoshi. That's by playing out the 1 pin and the Haku. So definitely just looking for pawn eats, as the Joseph-minded people say.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Eric, Andres has the Easton hand, and probably
There
not
is
going to
one
get rid of
left.
it.
Yeah,
There is
there
one
is
left.
one left. I
That
think
is
the table's
correct.
probably figured out that Andreas is going Honitsu here. One thing that I do note here that is interesting. So Andreas found the worst Honitsu tile in his hand, the Haku, and played that out in front of the 9-mon to maybe threaten the table a little bit. It's something that you can do with a Honitsu by bluffing. It's like it's just a little bit of a bluff, and then like if someone's paying attention and notices that you cut like say the 9-mon from your hand after the Haku, they start questioning themselves. Like, is this actually a Honitsu? Like, why do you still have that 9-mon? Like, what's going on? In this case, like I don't think it's going to end up being particularly relevant, but it is just a cool thing that you can do with Honitsu. We do see the North Con drawn. We'll probably see cons in a little bit more of a relevant spot. That is going to be a chi for Weibin. Shows the red 5. Maybe trying to do a similar thing here because his hand's kind of a mess. Not like a mess and like it's Shanten, but it's like kind of a mess in terms of like it has almost no shot of like having a Yaku. There's gonna be the con. Did draw one more Sozu progress. Does flip himself a Dora. New Dora is the 8-so.
And with one in hand, it's pretty good.
Yeah. That is going to be probably a skew for some people to fold. But Michael's still just kind of chilling Shanten here. Hasn't been able to draw Tenpai. And now Eric draws a 2-so, which has to look not great, but oh, Eric has a Dora Anko. Okay. Yeah. Eric's also Shanten. We're waiting to see what happens here. We're seeing if Andreas wants to cheat this. It looks like he does. If that does move him forward to Shanten, it's just a very awkward way to do so because now he has to either pull that 3-so. Oh, that's going to be Tenpai for Michael. If he wants to push the 4-pin. Yep.
Pushes it with Ricci.
Yep. It's going to be waiting on 4-7-so. It's going to be Ricci Pin Fudora too. 4-7-so though is a wait. Not looking too hot. Weibin with the Ipatsu Kilchi. Maybe try to bluff a Sanchoku or something. Oh, and that's an 8-so draw. The Ipatsu Dora draw for Eric. I mean, you could play 4-pin and keep your Toy outs alive. And that looks like that's gonna be Eric's plan here. It's like 8-so's not like the worst tile in the world to push because like it's the new Dora, so it's not like they had any time to actually build their hand around using it.
Mm-hmm.
However, definitely not it's not a tile you wanted to draw. Hatsu gets pushed. Was that live?
I think it was still live. There's one cut.
No, it's 2-cut. They're
Oh, it's 2-cut. Okay.
Yeah, 2-cut and Weibin's cool. I see. Weibin just trying to find Tenpai whatever way he can. Oh, that's Tenpai for Eric. No, doesn't want it. All right. I see you, Eric. But like, he could have. Oh, that's gonna be the sumo. That's gonna be expensive. Gonna be at least a Mangan. Oh, and the Urits to Richi Sumo, Pinfu, Dora 2, Ura 2, Haneman. Only needed Ura 1, but icing on the cake. Really not what you wanted here if you're Weibin, as that is going to put the Sours into a deeper last place, because he has to pay out the dealer penalty. See, this is what you get for cheating. It's gonna bring us to the south. The north is the Dora. Would have been nice for Andreas' last hand. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be. Andreas immediately flips 5 pairs. Could see a double Ricci for Cheeto. Oh. Kind of an awkward potential double Ricci for Cheeto, though, because, do you really want to wait on double salve? Oh, missed it by a tile. Unfortunate.
What should be the next one?
Yep, and now you have to actually think about how you're going to play this hand, because it's a little bit weird. Nope, it would have been Shunda.
No. The next one Andres draws.
Oh, yeah.
Would have been Tenpai.
Yeah, I see. Going back to where we're supposed to be. Eric's hand is not bad, but it's probably a little bit slow. There's an outside meme shot at Sandoko. I mean, you can get Tanya. You could probably get Tanya Nomi out of this hand fairly consistently if you just call everything. Oh no, he actually has Pair of the East now though, so calling's gonna be a little bit easier for him. And then we've touched on Andreas's hand. He is Ishansen for Chitoi. Has options for it. Michael has a Dora pair, but the rest of the hand is definitely not really up to snuff. Yep. No good shapes. Only a couple even connected tiles. Yeah, and Andreas sees that he can actually even try to make this a normal hand sometimes, and also may just be looking for the red 5. And lastly, Weibin. Weibin's hand looks really good. I like Weibin's hand for once. Outside shot like a 2/3/4, 3/4/5 Sanshoku, floating Dora that might get cut. Nope, doesn't want the 5-month. Interesting. Uh, Russ really be locking in on that 2/3/4 Sanshoku, but it's a little bit awkward because you don't really want to cut the red 5 unless your Sanshoku is guaranteed. Because the one in the hand is almost always better unless you absolutely need the points.
What's
Eric
interesting
is
for me from Eric is when he picked up the 5 bit, he put it back in the exact same spot he took out the 4-pin, which if most people aren't looking for that, but when it comes to Eric, I think he's pretty good at disguising that, like where he takes out a tile and then re-putting in a tile.
yeah, I think it's something that people pay attention to a lot more later in the hand.
And decides to cut the east.
Yes, because Andreas has Richi'd. He has found Chitoi Tenpai on that red 5 so waiting on the Dora. So it would be at least Richi Chitoi Dora 3. However, the Dora is entirely dead. I do not think we are going to see Waven play it, and there's really no reason for Michael to play it. Then again, like maybe you cut it from a pair, but like probably not. Yeah, so this is unfortunately a very exciting Chitoi Dora 3 hand that's probably just not going to happen. So instead, we can count how many times it would have sumo on different weights. So far, 0, which is good. That's the correct number of tiles to have backfired on. Yeah. Eric now has like this awkward situation where he's probably just hard folding because he has no reason to fight. Even though he's like, I mean, Eric has kind of found himself in a do nothing second place, but like the score lines are so tight that like even like being no 10 can drop him into last if Weibin is Tenpai. Weibin probably has the ability to try to make something happen here, but don't think he's going to. I think the fact that he would almost always have to play the North Dora is probably bumping him off that plan. So I think we're just seeing 3 players folding to a preemptive Ricci, which is like fair. There's just not a whole lot to talk about for us during it.
Yeah.
Unless someone runs out of Genbutsu, that's kind of hard to track, at least for my inexperienced eyes.
Well, yeah, for us to do all 4 players or 3 players running out of Genbutsu tiles be
Yeah.
a little bit difficult. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of bit.
Yeah, Andreas' pool also is fairly friendly in the fact that there are a lot of tiles there that are pretty good at creating Suji that you can trust. Not that Suji actually helps in this case, but and the thing is, like, even if they run out of Genbutsu, like, they're not going to play North. So, really all that can happen here is stuff like Michael now, like, stressing about which terminal Suji he wants to cut. Though we might actually see him be like, oh, I have 2 Norths, there's no way. Yeah, like, so, like, Eric, like, you know, doesn't really have any good save tiles. Though, I guess had the 4-mon pair.
He's probably just going to proceed to cut that.
Yeah. No reason to risk anything. No one's even really attempting to try to find Tenpai. The Weibin's hand has kind of stayed alive some.
Which makes me a little bit worried for Weibin, but
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, I've seen Weibin play, and
Yeah,
pretty tight.
I'm also relatively familiar with Weibin and his just unwillingness to push things. Yeah, so the table's just kind of, I mean, the table's like stress, but, you know, we're chilling. Big fan of chilling. And I really shouldn't be letting dead air happen, but I don't know. I only
There
have so
isn't
many.
really much to say.
Yeah, I
About
only
this.
have so many things to talk about.
We've kind of used our filler during the last, during the player switch, just a little bit.
Oh, we do see a chi here from Weibin. I think this chi is most likely yes. So this chi is because Andreas is the South player. Actually, there was already a call. So wait, what did that chi do? Oh, Weibin's Ishanta. I see. I see. I see. That is not senpai. So there's no threat here. Okay. However, that chi did give Andreas the Haite, which is, something. Yeah, everyone's gonna see the Duratanki Chitoi and know that they dodged a bomb, but there was not a whole lot of potential there, unfortunately. But that is a much needed 3K sticks here for Andreas. Moving into his deal again with a pre-made Homba. He is in second place now. That is something.
Yeah. Once again, big Honba.
Yeah.
Big Honba for Andres specifically, his dealership.
Yeah, it's not really something to casually bring up, but he is within dealer Haneman Sumo range of getting first place. It's possible. There are red fives, and it is a very good Dora. Speaking of, Andreas has Hatsu pair and a Dora, which is like, it's something. Try to pick up that Homba.
It's not nothing.
Yeah. Michael's hand is pretty good.
That's 3 pairs? 3 pairs and a red and two Dora
I think it's two pairs, but
2 pairs, yes.
yeah, 2 pairs,
His
but
hand
three
is covering
Dora.
the 4-pin.
Ah, I see. Yeah, 2 pairs, but three Dora. Three Dora, pretty good. Ooh, that was 3 pairs. That's the best tile to pair.
I see. I was seeing the future. That's what was
Ah,
happening.
I see.
I
I see.
understand.
I do that a lot with my discards and Dorichis. Like they come out the turn after I cut them. It's like, see, it was good. Easy. Weapon's hand is looking kind of quick. Does need to find needs to find a Tuso and just needs to find connections to the like that 4/4/6 mon shape. Then Eric's hand, honestly, it looks like it could be a quick Tanya. Does have a Dora. I think this might be the hand where I'm like willing to play a little bit more aggro. Because you really want to pick up the cheap hand here, as pick up the Homba, some bonus points, and get the game off of Andreas' deal. Because he's trying to like cook up something. However, Michael's hand is nicely progressing. He doesn't even actually need to use that Haku. Could just go for Tanya. Say another pair for Andreas. Decides that he is locked into using this Dora, which is like fair. He does not want Naimon at all. We are going to see the Chi and the Haku. Yeah, Michael decides that Tanya is probably going to be a more consistent way for this hand. Now this needs... Is it the same situation? Oh, that's going to be a Palm. Yep, Ishanten now. It's actually the exact same shape as when... or almost the exact same shape. This time it's 2-2-3 instead of 2-3-3. As when he won the Magan off of Andreas earlier. This time I don't think the 5-mon's going to be baited out from Andreas, though he does have a very similar 5-7-month shape. And now Andreas' hand is starting to move towards what could be a Honitsu. Oh boy. Is it going to happen again? Eric, meanwhile, is Ishanten himself. Would just be Tanya. Cannot currently use the Dora in his hand. Weibin is technically Ishanten. It's a really ugly Ishanten, but it is Ishanten.
Yeah.
So everyone but Andreas is Ishanten.
There's another 7-mon.
Andreas is drawing literally the exact same situation for himself as when he pushed the 5-mon last time. It's actually kind of uncanny.
I feel like I would have pushed the 5-mon earlier. Just keep the dealership,
Like
you
you
know?
want it, right? I think I would have just pushed 6 last turn. But I guess that doesn't look particularly good either. But
Yeah.
2-3 pin. Or I guess 2-pin got pulled, so it's eh. I don't know. It's tough.
It is tough. It's plus you want the points for your team,
Yeah, there's the red 5 coming out from who did that come out from? That came out from Eric. Okay, so Eric's not willing to cut the door at all. Played the red 5 so business not Katsuji to the open player. That makes sense. Still not quite giving up on his Tanya, though. But I think he is forcing it to incorporate the Dora. And would have been Tenpai. Now it's a little bit awkward. I think he's probably going to end up Sumigiring because it's Tsuchi to the open player. But it is... Nope, going to play 3-so. Interesting. Okay. To be honest, not really 100% sure what's going through his head there. But it's also just generally awkward to play from like a giant lead because you know that like nothing that you really do matters as long as you don't like blow up.
Oh, I think Eric saw the 2-4 cut and is like, if you're waiting on 3-so, like
Yeah,
you got me.
but like the 4 is like really late, right? So it could have very easily been cut from like a 4-4-5.
Sure.
Interesting. Okay, Michael, no interest in being able to pull in the 4-pin. Does generally make sense because you don't want to you don't really obviously you don't want to cut Dora and you really don't want to cut Tumon either. You give yourself those furry tin potential. Oh, there's gonna be the Chi. That's gonna be Tenpai on 3-6 pin for another Tanya Dora 3. This has been the Michael show so far at this hanchan, as evidenced by the scores. Is all three players besides him are below starting, and he's Tenpai for another 9,500 points. This is exactly what the Destroyers were probably looking for when they put him in there. They were really just hoping that they would have been able to pick up some points in the first game instead of taking that unfortunate fourth. With the way things have shaking out, this might have actually been, something that the Destroyers could have made a run at if.
Weibin is trying into Tempai right now to
Yep.
fight Richi.
Oh, I forgot to.
And deals in.
Yeah.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah, that is going to be the 6-pin deal-in. Unfortunate for Weibin, but you kind of like me Tenpai, me push. Not really a unexpected result. Is really, but the big thing was there is that like the value of that push was probably significantly more than Weibin expected because all three Dora were hidden because it was a pair. It was like a pair of Dora with the double Dora in hand. That's like I think Weibin was like probably prepared that this deals in a lot of the time, but was thinking like it's probably dealing into like Tanya Nomi or like Tanya Red.
Looking at opening hands, starting with Michael, has a 3-7 mon shape with double threes.
Oh, okay.
Kind of nice, kind of nice.
Yeah.
Uh, moving over to the south seat in Weibin, has 1, 2, 2, 3, 4 mon shape and pair of 8-so.
Yeah.
Not bad, not
Not your
great.
favorite hand. Not really what you want from last place.
Eric has 2 of the 3 all-stars.
Yep. Also
Love
has
to see
five.
it.
Also has 5 pairs. Really
Ooh.
awkward hand here for Eric.
I believe that is Ishan's hand for Eric now, but weird
Yeah,
weights.
yeah. Ishan's in for Chitoy. It looks like he's actually playing this for Chitoy instead of the Tanya by keeping on to the Haku. I think that this is a little bit preemptive for Eric. I think this hand could have just been a normal Tanya. Uh,
So, having talked to Eric a lot recently, he really likes G-Toy on the on honors,
yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
waiting
I
on
mean,
honors.
that's definitely the ideal weight. It's just like this hand, I think, could have been something that you could open quickly and still made use of those red 5s. Now the Haku is 2 cut, so it's not really a weight you want. It's a 4-pin pair drawn for Waven. Elsewhere, we do see Andreas with 4 Tanya pairs. No, we only see one of the Dora.
That
And
is a
that
good point.
is,
Where is the rest of the Dora?
yeah, it is in Michael's hand. Oh, and that's going to be Eric. playing out the red 5 mon. Now that he's broken up the block with it and drawn the 7-pin, I think he is probably considering switching back to just like Tanya. Or maybe even just like Tanya Toy Toy. Very
Yep.
possible for this hand. Andreas's hand is slowly making its way. It would more than likely just be Tanya Nomi at this point. However, trying to guesstimate how many points he has. I think Andreas is at 21.5, right? Yeah. So his board thing is a little bit cut off. Yep. Okay, so 21.5. So like even Tanya Nomi here is like fine, right? You know, send it into all last, take like a second place.
That is tempo for Eric if he cuts. Nope.
No, it's oh well, no, yeah, it's not tempo for Eric if he cons. However,
If he hits off the con.
is Shanten. Yes. I don't think Eric feels the need to con. I think he might con if he gets Suanko tempo. Just because, like, you know, why wouldn't you? Let's take stock. All right, so 3-pin 6-0 7-0. We see both of the 6-0 in Andreas's hand. We do not see any of the other tiles. So the Suanko is 4 tiles live. And honestly, Eric, like, you're so far in the lead, like, dream a little bit. Come on. Have some fun. Also can just get Tempai, like, a fairly, like, normal for, on the 5-8 so. Oh, okay, that's gonna be a Ricci coming out from Michael. That's gonna be 3-6-0. Or just Ricci Tanya Pinfu. Ricci Tanya Pinfu jams the door out. It looks like Eric did play the 9-pin, which was not Genbutsu, so, you know, he is at least pushing.
I like it.
Yeah, may play the 7-pin instead of conning it if he gets. Oh, yep. There's gonna be the pawn. Yeah, and there's gonna be the 7-pin. All right, so 6-7-0 versus 3-6-0. We know that the 6-0 is dead, but there are 7-0 available, and I am not sure about the 3-0. Come on, Eric, push. Do something. It is Dealer Ricci, yeah. Okay. I mean, like, this is the smart play, and the, like, you know, there's no point in fighting the dealer from insurmountable first place play, but it's just like, come on, you know, it's Mongan Tenpai, it's one Suji, just push. And it's just like, oh. But, like, we do get the funny look of 4 consecutive 7-pins in the discards. Oh, there would have been the wrong. But Eric, you want to want a Mongan. Ah, boo! He didn't even complete the set. Which, like, fair. He can get back to Tenpai if the 6-mod becomes a tile that he's willing to push. It probably will not happen, but, you know. It could have been discarded right there by Michael, and then he could have drawn to Tenpai. But it didn't. There we go. Alright, we got the 4 7-pin. Therefore, life is good. Haite? No. 7-0. Oh. Unfortunate, but the dealer is going to be the only one Tenpai here, so that is going to be another 2,500 points put into the middle with the stick and the Homba. And we are going to stick in South 3. I believe that's been the first actual dealer repeat this game. Like, there have been Homba put on, but not like, but because like the dealers ended no 10.
Yep, and those two have gone to Andres, I believe, both of them. Unless Weibin also got one, and I just forgot.
No, I think it was both. Yeah, Andreas got both of like the pre-Homba. Was unfortunately not able to do anything with them though.
Yeah.
Okay, but new hand here. Some points in the middle. People would like to win quickly and open, and Eric is doing so already with a West Palm that is in fact his seat win. Michael, the dealer's hand, running away with this game, doesn't really need any more points. But I mean, well, if he wants to catch up with Triad, definitely needs like a lot more points. But we'll see how they decide to play that. Not really the best hand in the world, but could become something. Maybe like a potential Tanya outlook if you can get off the 1-3 so shape. Eric's already made 2 calls and is Ishanten himself, though it is a little bit of an awkward Ishanten. Is like Tonki Penchan. Weibin's hand is a little bit fuzzing in and out on me a little bit. That might just be on my end, but does have what looks like the potential to be a 1-2-3 Sanchoku.
And just drew into Ishanten, I believe. With, yep, waiting on the I believe it's the 3-mon or the 2-pin for Tempai.
Gotcha. And then yeah, Andreas' hand is just not really quite what you want to see, if I'm honest. What's the Dora again, by the way?
It is the 1-mon,
1-1? Okay.
which Weibin has in hand, but
Oh, okay.
looks good for Weibin, and I believe not so good for anyone else.
Yes. Okay,
But
that's another.
Eric just threw into Tempai with the
Okay.
3-so.
Yep. And Michael is actually looking at a pretty nice Ishanten himself. Would be just like another Riichi Pinfu, or potential for like a Riichi Pinfu Dora 1 with the red 5 there.
I think he just changed his weight to the. Is that Dora?
Yes.
And I think he just changed his weight again to a.
Yep, and change it to Hatsu. Yep.
Hatsu.
Got the quality back. All right, Weibin is Ishanten, by the way, for a 1-2-3 Sanshoku, which would be quite nice for him, especially because that would be Sanshoku Dora. Eric is waiting on the Hatsu here, which I believe has been cut once. Yes. Dora Tanki just preferring the win rate here. Even just like there's 2,500 in the middle, so this is a 1,000-point win. It is 1,000 points, right? For actually no, this would be a 1,300-point win. So that would be enough to put him in second place outright. Because there's 4 fu from the West Pawn, 4 fu from the 2-pin Anko, 2 fu from being a Tanki weight, and 2 fu from being a Hatsu. So I believe we'll see him stick on this Hatsu. Hey, we will just have to see whether or not it comes out from anyone. It's not quite Tempai for Weibin, though that does increase his outs. Makes it possible for him to get 5-pin to Tempai and get like Riichi Dora 1. Unfortunately for him, the 2-pin is not going anywhere out of Eric's hand, nor is it going anywhere out of Michael's hand. I can't quite tell. No, that's still Ishanten from Michael. But has become a shape that could even be Rion Pico in some way. Andreas' hand is just not quite. Actually, is no. Andreas is still Rion Shanten, but like it's starting to look better. He does have 2 Dora in hand as well. That's a really awkward 3-pin draw if you're Michael. I don't think you really care about what Eric's doing, so you can just like push because like at this point you're not going to lose first place in this game. Like knock on wood, but it's Hmm. So you can just like knock on wood, you're not going to lose first place in this game. So you can just kind of like YOLO send it while you're dealer and just try to rack up as many points as possible. And this is definitely an Ishanten worth pushing as dealer. The question is, do you like at what point do you bail out and pull in 3, 4, or 8-mon for Tempai? And I think like the answer is like a few turns ago. No, wow, gonna continue greeting it. Oh, and gets immediately rewarded. Wow, what a draw. So it's gonna be Riichi, Tanya, Pinfu, Dora 2. Could potentially get 5-mon for Ipeco would be Hanemon. Sumo is Hanemon. Sumo Ipeco Ura is Baimon. And, Patsu is in there as well. Eric's still holding on to that Hatsu Tempai. We only see 2 of them, including the one in Eric's hand, so they could be anywhere. And Eric's gonna pick up the sticks and move himself into second place. Which is really not what you want to see if you're anyone at this table. But especially Michael, who I think after this game is going to be in second place. Yeah, Eric making sure that the foo count is correct. It should be 40 foo. I cannot hear them, but because it's 4 for the West Palm, 4 for the 2-pin Anko, 1 for being a Tonki weight, and 2 for being a Tonki weight, and 2 for being a Dragon Fair.
That seems like the conclusion they've come to.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can see because Eric was at 5, and now he is at 8 in the hundreds place. All right, that's going to take us into all last. Really important series of hands here for Weibin. Needs anything if he's going to have any shot at a. Otherwise, like it's going to be tough for them to even hold. It's going to be tough for them to even get second place if he gets a first, fourth with just with this kind of swing to the destroyers. And then if anyone wants any shot at taking on the Triad, it's probably a little bit too late, but and by probably a little bit too late. Yeah, and by probably a little bit too late, I mean like it's definitely a little bit too late. But yeah, you definitely don't want Eric getting second place in this game if you have any belief.
Looking at opening hands, whose hand do you like in particular?
I really like Waven's hand just right off the rip. Is already Ishanten, I believe, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also like some pretty solid yeah, some pretty solid upgrade potential there as well. Can get his tempai on 5-pin, 8-pin, 5-mon, and 7-mon, which is not the widest Ishanten in the world. You know, it's also is that a 3-mon? 3-mon's a little bit rough. Eric's hand probably not going to end up being fast enough. However, that 4-so draw is really good. Also has 4 pairs and a red 5. 3-pin door is quite good. Potential for Andreas here to get like a Chanta Sanshoku, something like that. Maybe a Jinchan Sanshoku. And Michael can kind of just do whatever he wants. Yeah, I think this is definitely the moment for Weibin. He's got to make something happen with his hand, and you really don't want to have to open it. You can even accept Dora. Andreas gets rid of the Dora. Is Andreas going Kokoshi? Andreas is going Kokoshi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 types with 2 pairs. We will have to keep an eye on that. It's certainly a brave Kokoshi, but you know, when you need to win 10 types, oh, Ryan Shan 10. You will need the all honor tiles is what he needs. So you can keep track of them pretty easily. It's South, West, and Hatsu is what he's looking for. South has been cut twice already. West has also been cut twice, and Hatsu has been cut once.
If there was a time to be a lucky girl, it would be now. And
Yes.
Andres
Ooh.
is really hoping.
If Waben sees it, which I think he doesn't quite see it, there was actually a chance to upgrade to a 456 Sanchoku there that Waben missed, but is going for the potential Ipeco instead. I personally would have liked to see the slightly less efficient, but like the slightly more valuable 8-mon cut there. But Ipeco is also pretty good. It's just like you're never really ending up on a good weight now. I guess, well, if you draw 7-mon, you're still on a good weight. Oh, another Hatsu comes out. How is Michael's hand doing? It's like it's far enough away from the camera that it's tough to tell, but it looks like it could be close for Tanyo.
I believe
he's Ishanten. Yeah. Oh, that's another Hatsu cut.
it's getting rough for Andres.
3 Hatsus have been discarded. Oh, okay. There we go. That's a fantastic draw for Waben. Pairs up the 8-mon, so now can accept 4-mon. Just slightly, this making his Ishanten slightly and slightly wider. Now 7-pin would be an amazing draw. However, it
Is this
is.
Senpai for Michael?
Um,
Oh,
let's see. Wait.
never mind.
Oh, and Eric got Tenpai without me noticing. Sorry. Well, that's gonna be Ipeco Dora 1, and that's gonna end the game. And it's gonna be a nice 2600 and a handshake. That's gonna do it for game 2 here. Big win for the Destroyers. However, the true winner, I guess, is Eric and the Triad, who get a nice small second place, bump their total score up over 500, and make it pretty much impossible for them to lose. Yeah, not really sure. Not really sure how anything could possibly happen here to change that, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Well,
I believe we are going to be going to a quick break here as we get set up for game 3 and all all of the players let the scores get put in so everyone knows their conditions. I believe there's really only playing for second place available at this point. The destroyers are going to be the closest, and they're going to be close to 400 points away. Like, and it's just not gonna be something that happens. If, but mahjong is mahjong. There's still you can still play for the best that you can do, even if it is impossible to advance. And we will see what the last players have in store for us. Actually, Wes, I'm going to step out for a second and grab water while the players get sorted. If you would like to carry me for a little bit, or we can also take a break.
I think we're just gonna take a break for a bit.
Yep, break sounds good to me. My throat is destroyed.
We'll be back soon.
Yep, bye forever. And welcome back, everyone, to the final game of the first season of the Reaching NOMI League. We have three new players here at the table: Christian representing the Triad, Claire representing the FalKAns, and Calvin representing the Sours. Looks like Michael will be reprising his role as the Destroyer's ace. I still have Wes here with me,
Hello.
and we are about ready to go. After
Yeah.
the do you have the standings pulled up by chance, Wes?
Uh, I do. Uh,
Gotcha.
after the first two hanchan, we have Triad still far in the lead. The Destroyers at a second place of 152, and the FalKAns have dropped down to negative 46.9.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, like the Triad won. All right, like it's not worth it's not worth making something out of it. But there is a reasonable fight for second place here between the Destroyers and the Sours. It is an 104.5 point gap, and then the fight for third and fourth between the Sours and the FalKAns is about 96 or 98, 97, something like that. One of those numbers. Uh, it is going to be quite difficult for placing to change. However, if we do see the Destroyers or the Sours in fourth place, and the Falcon, and we may see them get jumped.
But it looks like our players are already underway. Claire is our dealer,
Yep, Claire.
and good start so far.
Yeah, going to be looking to just pick up anything here as dealer, make something happen. She does have what looks like it could just be like a nice tiny up Pinfu hand. No Dora to really be seen, but that is okay. Does draw into Ishanten now. Calvin's hand looks very Sozu-y. Probably not going to quite be a Chunitsu. He does probably need a sizable first place and some help from the Destroyers losing. However, speaking of Destroyers, Michael is Ryan Shanten with 4 Dora in hand. Has that West Anko. Unfortunately, is not the West seat, so cannot open with that, but we'll be looking to try to make a Ricci out of that, or a 3-4-5 Sanjoga. And lastly, Christian just kind of here to here to represent, but pretty much already has first place secured, so he can kind of just do whatever they want.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to see the Destroyer's captain, Amy, today, but
Yeah, I spoke with her a little bit during the intermission, and she has said that she was just completely unavailable throughout the entire window to get finals done. So just decided to just run it without her. But her team has been doing her proud, as it's going to be an East pawn here for Michael. Moves into Ishanten for now East Dora 4, needing a 3-6 mon, a 3-pin, and an 8-pin. Yeah, Amy watching in from her bus trip to Boston, cheering on her team as they look to hold on to the second place.
which they are very likely to do,
Yeah,
as you mentioned earlier.
yeah, 105 point gap. So it's the Uma's what? It's like 50 something.
I don't know what the increased Duma is, if there is increased Duma, but normally it's 30, sorry, 515.
Yep. We do see the Ricci come up from Claire here. It's going to be Ricci, Tanyao, Ipeco. For dealer 340, 7700 at minimum, waiting out a 3-month. That is going to be the pawn here from Michael. Waiting now
Unfortunate,
3-6
no
month.
e-pots.
Yep. Do you by chance remember, is there head bump?
No, there is no head bump in this format. However, if you are going to the Ricci Nomi Open, there will be head bump. So
I hate head bump. It's awful. Okay, well, we do see to a potential double run then on the 3-mon as both Michael and Claire are waiting on it. But Michael's just going to swim up the 6-mon. Ms. Y1D. The Destroyers are running hot here tonight. Outside of that first game where Julian just kind of got the rough end of things, but Michael has been raking it, and Sumo's another Mongon to start our last Hanchan here. Claire's dealer Ricci unfortunately getting snuffed out, not going to be able to make a whole lot happen. Technically, obviously that's not really how it works, but technically her team's actually in 5th at the moment by total score. As
yeah,
their small minuses have actually dropped them below the Yakumen. But that is not how it works. You cannot go to the final table and get worse than 4th place.
fortunately for them. Unfortunately for the Yakuman, who did have
Yeah,
a good season, but you know,
yeah, just didn't quite get it there at the end. But now on Calvin's deal, it has some nice looking shapes. 3-mon pair would have been nice to have last hand to hold those deal-in tiles. But what could be like just a Ricci Pin Fudora 1, something like that. Needs like a 5-pin or something. Player's hand looking like could be kind of quick. Is actually already Ishanten, but it would be like Ricci Nomi, and it's kind of awkward.
I mean,
And,
that is the name of the club after all, right?
that is true. However, when you need points, as Claire and her team currently do,
And as a
um,
non-dealer,
yeah, it's just
not
uh,
exactly what you're looking for.
yeah. Especially when you can like easily accept Dora. Yeah, I'm trying to are you able to view Christian and Michael's hands? Because my at least on my end, my
Yes, very slightly.
gotcha. Looks
Mike,
like yeah, Michael's hand I think is a little bit more clear. Has like a north pair, I think.
yep, a north pair. No, three norths,
Oh,
and
three
the last one
norths.
is upside down, so
Oh, I thought it
it's a
might be
little
a
bit hard to
heist.
tell.
Might be a heist.
And a
No,
pair of five so, and a lot of Pinzu,
that is
the some
Tempai.
completed shapes.
Yeah,
Yep,
that's gonna
it's
be
senpai.
the early preemptive Ricci here from Michael. Waiting on just 3 so for Ricci Nomi, but like, preemptive Ricci can be pretty good at just like shutting down what's happening around the table. And we do see Claire has actually significantly upgraded her Ishanten. Now could actually get to Ricci Tanya Pin Fedora if she draws a 6-pin. Definitely going to be something that she's looking to fight with. Oh, that's going to be the con from Michael. We'll see if he creates any Dora for himself. New Dora is the 5-mon, and it's a Rinshan!
Hold on.
So it's Ricci Sumo Rinshan with the total Fu. And it's going to be 360, which I believe just rounds up to a Mongon. There's no Dora created, unless I'm mistaken.
I believe this is illegal because the FalKAns are at the table and deserve all the Rinchons because of their
Ah.
name,
I
right?
thought that was actually something that happened for a second. I was like, wait, what? Yeah, and it looks like a Mongon has been paid out. Michael is just kind of rolling with it. Gee. This is like the kind of flow that they needed to catch up with the Triad. But unfortunately, Triad was able to take 2 seconds. Or, well, unfortunately for them, we can't sound too biased. Unfortunately for the Destroyers, the Falcon or the Triad were able to take 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm receiving word from our executive producer that this makes Michael an official member of the Renshan Kaibros, which will vault them up the standings from last place all the way to final table representation.
Uh, I believe that's how that works. Yeah.
Yes. If you get Renshan, you are a Renshan Kaibro. Therefore, the Renshan Kaibros are in second place. It's easy transitive math. Ugh.
But onwards to East 3.
Yep. Going to
Quite fast.
be yeah. I mean, so honestly, like outside of like the end of the second game, it's been a pretty quick night.
Yeah. These players know what they're doing, and
Yeah, especially late in the season,
yeah.
and also the the teams that won their way here. Lots of experienced players, lots of fast moving action, lots of uh, lots of balling. We have Christian's deal. Hand is not really good at all. There's just nothing really to be excited about. This is Ishanten for Michael. I'm gonna go ahead and take it. It's a little bit awkward. Uh, But you can take like Ryanmen for Richinomi again. It worked out so well last time. Here I was shit talking Richinomi just a few hands ago. But then all of a sudden, Michael did it and it's a manga. Player's hand does have 2 reds, including the double Dora, so it is a manga on or better if she can complete it. Looks like it kind of wants to just like try to shift over to Tanya. Yeah, it looks like she's gonna do so with that nice 6-pin draw.
Good
It makes
upgrade. Good upgrade.
yeah. I think can start cheating it down for the nice 8K value. Then lastly, we have 5 pairs. Actually, Calvin's G-Toy Shantan. Looking to no Dora, unfortunately, in the hand, but looking to try to find one of them guest win weights, or just one of them win weights in general. East, North, and one pin all looking like really good G-Toy tiles. That's going to be a Ricci here from Michael. It is the Ricci Nomi. He did fill the Penchon. Or sorry, the Kanchan.
What if Michael just cons again?
Bro, I swear. All right, so let's find the one. So where is it? It's live, isn't it?
It is live.
Oh my god. Oh, that's gonna be a chase from Calvin on the one pin. Can't really let it go. You can't let Michael run you over too hard, especially when you're directly fighting him for second place. Though at this point, it's like already like just the fact that this has happened. Like he's sumoed 2 mangas in a row means it's almost like, barring like some whack dealer shenanigans or a very unfortunate series of deal-ins, it's going to be very difficult for Calvin to take the second place away from Michael and the Destroyers.
So the one pin is a once cut, and one is chilling out in Christian's hand.
Yeah. So there's an equal amount of one pin as there are one so. However, there are many 6/9 so's. Cannot quite count them.
Calvin has 2 of the 6 so's.
Christian has 1.
Yeah.
And none have been discarded. So it's what, a 5 tile weight?
Believe so.
Oh, one pin did just become Suji though. So like, maybe if someone draws it, they will feel incentivized to push it.
But what if Michael just cons and gets a
True.
Rinchon again?
That would be
That would be spicy.
Oh no, there's the sumo. Alright, reach sumo Chitoy. No Ura. Oh, would have been the Baimon if this Chitoy had any Dora in it to begin with. It's always a little bit sad, but a little bit happy a little bit sad when you see that the Dora was actually a double Dora on Ura, but you just didn't have the Dora. It looks like if there had been a con, Calvin would have flipped 2 Dora from the that sideways 6-mon we can see. Michael's flow did not carry him there, but he did not deal in, so it's really not that bad either. It's gonna be Richie Sumo Chitoy, 1600, 3200, and Calvin's gonna find himself chilling in second place. And that takes us to a very quick East 4. Honestly, from the humble Midwest, I'm pretty okay with the speed run. My voice is tired.
Looking at Michael's opening hand, that is a lot of honors.
Yeah, might be time to go for it. It's like it's really easy to fold. It's like okay, you can't quite count. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 types with 2 pairs or with 1 pair. Nope, it doesn't want it. All right. Boo. It's gonna be
good.
Yeah, it's gonna be Claire drawing a pair of South. Not really a whole lot else going on in the hand besides that South. But if you can get Souths, you can then open and try to get the Dora. Unfortunately for Claire, 2 of the Dora, Haku, are in Christian's hand, who probably, despite pretty much being guaranteed first place, would like to actually play the game themselves.
Yeah. But Claire does have that completed 7, 8, 9 pin shape and 1 away from all of her other shapes. So
yeah,
maybe she keeps the South as her pair. Not the greatest thing, but
yeah, it's just like it's a little bit awkward.
It's
and then
very awkward.
lastly, Calvin's hand does have the East pair, does have the red 5s. Could just try to take 2K here. But yeah, it's gonna take taking a lot of points probably directly. Draws the East Onko actually. Yeah, it's gonna for Calvin and the Sours. It's gonna taking a lot of points. Michael have any shot at overtaking them for second place overall. Christian's hand is moving forward. Still has those 2 Dora that he's looking to palm.
Michael drawing a 3rd red dragon on the way to Toshuki.
Okay. Could get just Kun Nomi, could just palm some stuff down. Very very interesting options here. Could go for even like Jun Dora Tanki. Well now we know. Yeah, okay, well. There we go. So it's gonna be a matter of where does that last Haku go? if that last Haku goes to Michael, then it's things are gonna get spicy real quick. In terms of stuff that could shut this down, we do see Calvin Ishanten here with his East Dora 1. Not Chi that to Tenpai. That is an improvement on the Ishanten. Claire is also Ishanten. It also has like an outside world at Rion Peiko, Claire does. Could see it happen. Because at the moment, it would just be Richie Peiko at best. Could also just draw the South. That'd be fun. Be interesting at the very least. 8-pin does not help. That is another pair for Christian. That's actually 4 pairs in hand. Does not want it though. It's really in on pawning that Haku. And that is
Potential upgrade?
That is Chitoi Ishanten for Michael. You can start pawning it down, but you don't really want to cut the Haku is the thing. Like, you can. Especially, like, because your hand has 5 blocks without it.
Meanwhile, Claire has drawn the third south.
I see. Okay, so she's gonna go for the take the head with it. Oh, and so Calvin there actually declined cheating to Tenpai. Decline cheating the 3-6 to Tenpai, draws into Tenpai immediately, is now waiting on 3-6.
And Christian, I think, picked up the third Haku. If I'm counting that right. No, I'm not counting that right. Never mind.
No, not quite.
It just
it's tough. It's tough with the Haku.
Yeah. It's the
especially
I'm
when
trying to count the tops of the tile.
Yeah. Claire can fight this. Does have safe tiles to work with, and does have the South Haku. Oh, there's the Haku. Are we gonna see the palm? Do you see the pause? Yep, pause, palm. And then I imagine this will just be a 1-mon push. Ishanten for Christian for Haku Dora 3. I mean, surely you just push 1-mon, right? Really? Wow. I don't really understand why you're making that palm if you're just going to play Genbutsu, but...
Yeah.
So now, still Rion Shanten, but has scared the table a little bit. Claire decides to push out the 7-mon. For some reason, people are really afraid of this 1-mon. It is live, but it is like, there is a 4-mon in the discards. It is Suji. Claire looking to fill in a 2-5 pin or a 6-9 pin and chase this, though. 7-so, really not what you wanted. Gotta say. Doesn't deal in, but it does not look good.
Well, the 1 pin is now clear for Christian.
Yep, or the 1-mon.
Or 1-mon, yeah.
There is Claire's 9 pin drawn into Christian's hand. 9 pin is definitely not a tile you really want to push either right now. Yeah, it looks like Michael is just kind of out. Doesn't really have any interest in messing around with this too much. What was just drawn? 6-0? Okay.
Yep.
Pushes the 3-so and it's going to deal in. And it's going to be Ricci, East, Dora. Oh, a 3! Oh! 12k, yeah. That is quite unfortunate for Christian.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the Triad doesn't need
Oh,
to be
no.
more fortunate.
But, like, you know, like, on an individual basis, it's nice to, like...
Sure.
It's nice to, like, you know, win points and do well. It's like, it's a team game, but it's also, like, an individual game. And especially, like, when you're pretty much going in with, like, just, like, literally nothing you do matters. Like, it'd be nice to win.
Looking at Claire's opening hand, she has a completed 987 mon with a 5-7 mon, red 5-7 mon standing. So not bad, but could be a little better.
Yeah, needs to, like, kind of just shift her way over to a potential Tanyao. There's also, like, maybe a 2-3-4 or a 3-4-5 Sanchoku hidden in there somewhere. Yeah, the Sanchoku, I think, is a lot more appealing if she can pair... Or, wait, I'm looking at Christian's hand. I'm looking at the wrong camera. Never mind. I am losing my mind.
That is good to know about Christian's hand.
Yeah, Christian
possible
has
Sanchoku.
2 red 5s, possible Sanchoku. Could pair up the 9 with Sodora. Yeah, Claire's hand, still actually could be something that wants to go towards Tanya, but probably just like a Ricci Pinfu.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Meanwhile, Michael draws a third green dragon.
Yes. Michael's Tenpai. That is quite ridiculous, to be honest, this early. Nice and chilled Dama for Hatsunomi. Gonna continue our speed run. See what happens here. That does not help. Oh, breaks it. Wants the wider Ishanten, I guess. I think this early the Kanchan's fine, personally. But this gives you some opening chances, so I can see it. Very good draw here for Christian. Does play off the 9 Sodora. And is now, I believe, is that Ishanten? Yes, Ishanten for Christian for at least Richidora too. Potential Tanya. Or even just open Dora too. Claire's hand really has not gone anywhere since we last touched on it. And Calvin is open with the Haku for Haku Nomi, but just hasn't really found any other progression tiles.
So Calvin not electing to con that last Haku that was drawn.
Oh, Tenpai back for Michael. We're going to be on 4-7 this time. Decides to actually reach you this time. Probably feeling a little bit pressured by the fact that Calvin and the Sours are now quite close in the like in the individual standings for this game because of the Ura 3 Hanemon. If you're Christian, you just have to send this. Like, you push this to the end of the earth. If you're Claire, you're like, really? This is how my last deal is going to go? Because, like, what can she do, right?
Draw super well.
Yeah, true. And just, like,
I guess
yellow.
that's it. Yeah.
And just yellow push. And pray. Stealth is not really a tile you want to push, but it's a tile you kind of have to push. 8-so comes out. Yeah, the tough thing for Christian is that he needs to find the 3-pin and can no longer open the hand because he decided to go Pinfu route instead of a Tanya route.
Claire draws Adora.
Adora is very awkward here. It does fit into her hand. Decides to play out the 2-mon pair. I do like this. Very difficult situation to maneuver around if you're Claire. Where are the 4-7-mon? See 2 in Claire's hand. And 2 in Christian's hand. So there should be 4 wall, I believe, for Michael to draw. Ooh, 4-so draw is really good here. Your Christian. It gives you a potential Tanya again. At no real cost. He just needs to push out the 3-pin if he can ever get Tenpai. Hasn't quite happened yet because 3-6-0 is a little bit tough to get. So the 6-0 is Genbutsu, so we might see Calvin drop it into Christian if he were to ever draw it. Calvin is definitely struggling for safe tiles. There's going to be the Sumo. Riichi, Sumo, Hatsu. I'm just going to assume there's an Ura. No, wow, missed it by a tile. I figured there'd be an Ura because, like, Michael literally only has 1 Mongon.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. Gonna be a nice 1K, 2K, and we move into South 2. Honestly, that hand took longer than I expected, given that Michael was Dama Tenpai on turn 3. Alright, now we move into moving into South 2. It's gonna be Calvin's last shot at a dealer turn here. Really needs to make a lot happen if wants to improve their standing, but you can also just try to just play to win the game. May bring home 1 more win for the representative Sours, and then go back to Vince's place and get drunk.
And there is only one final winner at the final table of the inaugural season of the reaching the NOMI League. So
Yeah, like that's
having that,
yeah, that's a good point to bring up here. We've been talking about it this whole time as if it matters, as if like we're not only awarding first place, and that we're essentially just playing a pre-decided game here. I wonder how many games it's been since Triad took a fourth though. Probably many.
Have the Triad taken? I don't think the Triad have taken a fourth. Have they?
I mean, like surely they have at some point, right? Like I feel like I watched like Eric get bodied in a game. He just bodied more games. Anyway, hands. Tusodora. Not
Is
really
Claire
a
Tempai?
Is Claire vampire? Yes, she is. Wow. Well, in the time that we talked about,
And
okay, this
Claire improving to Tanya.
yeah,
So
very very quickly.
it was Mochi Mochi with Michael for the Green
Ah, I see.
Dragons.
I see. I was wondering why it was her turn again. I looked down for like a second, and all of a sudden she's drawing another good tile. So hands that could actually like stop this. Very nice looking hand here for Christian as well. Ishanten for Richidora 3 potentially.
I believe Calvin also Ishanten or Ryan
Yeah.
Shanten.
Yep. Michael is, I believe, Ryanshan 10 as well. And can't open. Ooh, that's yeah, I just looked back over at Calvin's hand. Yeah, believe that is Ryanshan 10. Could also just like con the 6-0 for fun. Actually, no, it's Ishan 10. It's Ishan 10. I just can't read. Upgrades to a Kanchan there for Christian. Claire looking for Tempai, does not find it. Calvin looking for Tempai. That's that's a fun draw. It's a little bit awkward. I think you're just supposed to play out 9-pin. Just take your headless Anko Ishanten. You could also just con the 6-0. Like if like in this case where you need points, I think like conning 6-0 is very reasonable. But I think 9-pin is definitely the most efficient play by far.
For our viewers, I like conning the 6-0. Just for entertainment value.
Do it for the content.
Yep.
Also, unbeknownst to the players, Claire's 3608 is not very good. Just looking at Calvin's hand.
Yeah.
Oh, now actually, because it'd be oh no, because it'd be Furryton on the 2/3 mon. Wait, with this 2-mon. Yeah, you have to toss that back. Personally, I'm dreaming of the world where we draw 5-so and Calvin gets a con anyway. He just draws 1-mon. That'd be fun. Christian slowly but surely improving the Ishanten still. Michael attempting to push forward, doing the same, not quite drawing what he wants. No one really everyone just kind of chilling around waiting for those tiles to come in. Red 5-pin drawn. Ooh, okay. I like the 5-mon cut there from Christian. Keeps the bad shapes with as much help as they can get. And 5-pin actually looks like a pretty good weight if you're Christian. Nakasuchi trapped. Lets you Sumiladora as well. Create a big point bomb. Oh, that's gonna be the con from Christian.
Or it should be.
Christian's
Right?
Tempai. No! It's not Christian. Calvin. My bad. Wrong C name. Boo! Where's the content? I really want someone to show us the Condor and the Uradora. Just so I know. It's important to me. Michael's moved to Ishanten as well here.
I feel like if you're team captain, Vince, you'd be pulling your hair out right now.
Oh, yes. I'm pulling my hair out from the commentary, but then I have no stake in this. But maybe it's because I have no stake in this, I just want the content. So there's really like no downside to conning there, right?
I don't see it.
Like
Then
you're
again, I am
like,
always all push.
yeah, I mean the only downside is that like if you get chased, which is like possible, someone's open, you might not be first Tempai. But like you need a lot of points for your team to get second place. And you need those points to come from come from Michael specifically, who will have the hardest time defending against you because he is the open hand. It's like Claire's shifting around what she's trying to do here. Did not want to push the 8-mon, so plays out the safer looking 4-pin. Still Ishanten. Has been Ishanten forever, ever since she broke that broke her Tempai. Which was like very reasonable to do at the time. It would have been Richie Nomi, which, as we have said, is not enough points for the current state of her team. And not everyone can just automatically make Richie Nomi a Mangan.
Not looking at anyone in particular.
Yeah, no.
No, never would point any fingers. No.
Oh, that is. Wait, no.
Very close though. Very close to dealing it.
Claire's finally Tempai. We'll see what weight she wants to take here. What tile she wants to push. Maybe
right?
Maybe regrets playing the 2-mon a little bit now, even though it was Genbutsu, because it removes the opportunity for a 3/4/5 Sanshoku. But at the same time, like, safety in Ishanten is usually better than Yaku chasing. Oh! Open Richi! Honestly, I forgot about that. Well, that's not what you want to see if you're if you're Calvin, because now no one can deal into you. Because they are on the same weight. I forgot that Open Richi was a thing in this rule set, I'm gonna be honest. Because no one had done it yet. I would have been advocating for that for a lot more often tonight. Oh, she flips. The show. But yeah, Open Richi, for anyone not familiar, is just a 2-han Richi where you reveal your weight, and if someone deals into you, it is, while not in Richi themselves, it is a Yakuman. So you cannot intentionally feed the Open Richi. So this is just a 2-han Richi for Claire. For clarity's sake, Calvin would not be find a Yakuman if he dealt in, which he can't in this case because they have the same weight. So this for Claire is Richi, Tanyao, Pinfu, but it's Open Richi, so it's Open Richi, so it is at least in Mangan. Was that just a chi? Okay, that is a chi for Michael. Michael's also Tempai. On the 4/7-mon. Hey, I guess the sumo. As soon as I report it. And it's gonna be the Hatsu Joratsu, and just continue farming the sticks. I appreciate the pizzazz from Claire. Alright? You gotta give us something here.
If I'm in Claire's seat, I'm looking at Michael, looking at that call and being like, the flow has changed.
Yeah. I'm mad. I'm like, how dare you, sir? Alrighty, that does bring us into cell 3, right? Yeah, cell 3. Damn.
Already.
Claire's hand immediately looks like a meme Kokoshi push. It seems like she has it organized a little bit that way as well.
I think you gotta do it.
Yeah. Calvin's hand is already Ryan Shanten and can palm the north.
Someone with that much pizzazz.
Yeah,
And
that
flair.
much flair. Yep, we saw the Tuso cut immediately. Yep. Could also go for a Suiso. Or all honors.
Oh, that's true. That's very true.
Christian's dealer hand does have 2 Hakudora and a whole lot of Manzu. I can't quite tell what the far left tile is, but holy, Christian's hand is kind of gross, actually.
I believe that is another 4-mon.
I am inclined to agree with you. So it's 4/4, 5/5/5, 6/6/7.
9.
Yes, and there's going to be the palm. Yeah, okay, yeah, so that's correct. This is an absolutely monstrous hand that's already Ishanten. What the hell? And Claire's going to keep cutting any of those tiles that isn't Haku. It's like, we ball. Meanwhile, Calvin is Ishanten. Can try to make something happen. I haven't really looked at Michael's hand, which is like probably a mistake because Michael's also Ishanten. Ooh, Michael can actually move this towards Tanya now, potentially. You can play out 1-0, 1-0. Oh, okay, no. Decides once the 8-mon, like the Shanpon here, potentially. This would be what? So for Christian, it'd be Honitsu Dora 3 at absolute minimum.
And Calvin is Tempai? No?
Calvin is Tempa, yeah, on 1-pin 7-so. And does have a Yaku because he is the North Seat. This would be massive for, or I mean, this would be, oh wait, that's Tempai. Tempai for Christian as well. Oh, I saw Michael reach for the Manzu. I thought he was about to play 8-mon. It might actually come out. 8-mon would be an absolutely tragic deal in here. It's Honing Dora 3 at the moment, so it's only 12k at the moment. Has like pretty easy shifts to a Toy Toy as well as just like take the Haku if you get it. Yeah, the 3-mon overflowing might be a red flag. Have to keep an eye on. Oh no, plays up the 4-so. Okay, I see. Setting the potential Suji trap on the 1-so, looking to maybe end on the Shanpon, while also keeping Sozu upgrades intact. Have to keep an eye on Calvin's hand, make sure he doesn't change his Tempai. Claire's Kokoshi. Nope, not a Kokoshi anymore. Looking like she is going for the Suiso or Sho Sushi, or both. I believe there are stacking Yakumon in this rule set, but not doubles. So if she can get Suiso Sho Sushi, it would be a nice 64k. Does not seem likely with 2 players Tempai at the moment, and the North entirely dead. This will be a Pon, though. She could also just go for Honitsu Toy Toy, but that'd be boring. Don't you love the world where we could say Honitsu Toy Toy is boring? Where is this 8-mon? We only see 2 of them, and they are the ones paired in Michael's hand. Salve is a little bit of a brave cut. That is 2 of them cut now. Okay, yeah, Claire definitely not going to cut the Haku. That is the 3rd Haku that we see now. Oh, this is a potential shift for Calvin. Can take a 4-7-so 1-pin weight, can take a 6-9-so weight. We'll see what he decides to do here. Plays the Dama. Alright, so it's going to be Calvin is 1-pin and 4-7-so now. Narrowly misses Claire there. 9-mon. Okay, no, there hasn't been a shift to Toy Toy that I missed. This is... Oh, no. Breaks the Tempo. Does not want to play out that live as 9-mon, which, like, who can blame him? That's going to be a Ricci from Michael, though. And once again, there's a potential double run on the board. We've had multiple shots at double run here tonight that have not happened. Oh, Claire drew the 8-mon. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Not like this. Not like this.
She's, like, fighting with herself. Because, like, she knows she shouldn't. But, like, you kind of want to, right?
Yeah.
And she's going to see that the North is dead. So she's going to have an easy follow-up tile there. I mean, if you're Christian, you just have to push. Like, you cannot afford to care. There's the 1-pin that would have dealt into Calvin. But, like, you cannot cut 9-mon. It's so hard to cut 9-mon there. 5-mon draw. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, cons! What? I would have thought to see, like, a switch, maybe. Actually, no. Con makes more sense. I'm just dumb. Oh, the Haku! Wait, the palm! What is this? Okay, so it's Honitsu, Toy Toy, Dora 4, Honitsu, Toy Toy, Dora 4, Biomon. Oh, on 7-mon Tonki. It's also San Renko for anyone familiar with the local Yaku. San Renko being consecutive, consecutive like pawns. It's essentially like Tripoli Peiko, but you can get it open.
Or as the cool kids call 3 Peiko.
Yes. This is ridiculous.
Calvin just drew the dealing tile, but elects not to cut it.
Okay, I can switch to Tumon. Chooses not to. It is Genbutsu. That makes sense. Would also be a Hellweight. Michael has drawn the Chun and is very sad about it, but does not deal in.
Does Claire call?
Claire does call. Claire pushes the 9-so. Alright, Claire's still not Tenpai. But you never know anymore.
I
It's like,
think
what
the
the
wall is
hell
too
am I
short.
doing here? Calvin's like, what am I doing here?
Although Claire does have Dora 3.
Yes. Oh yes, Claire was given Dora 3 by that Is that a Tenpai for Claire? No. She has not drawn yet. Still not Tenpai.
Still just Ishanten.
So we have 8-mon 1-so versus 7-mon versus no 10. But like dangerous no 10. Oh no, the backfire on 9-mon and the sumo! No! Michael, please! Oh, both the Urador are 3-fin. Hey, Lamau. Alright, so it's just Richi Sumo after all that. Oh, man. Where were the 7-mon, by the way? Were they discarded? There was one
Yeah, there was
discarded.
one discarded earlier, and the other two were in
Yeah.
hand.
Was it both in hand? I thought
Yeah.
Calvin just had one.
Oh, I thought Claire had.
No, Claire had
no,
the 8-mon.
Yeah.
Claire had the
Calvin
8-mon,
had
which was
one.
the old dealing tile. There are like 6 different weight shifts to hand, too. What a ridiculous hand. I mean, you know what? I'm glad we got some fireworks out of it. But now, so technically, so let's see. So like, I'm just like gonna guess the Uma's like 45.5 because that's what the M League Uma is. So technically, that's like, and then it's like 30 from minus 35. So that's an 80,000 point swing. And then Michael is another 50K up. So it's like an 130 point swing on the Triad right now for the Destroyers. Out of like, the 350 that are down. So Michael just needs another 220,000 points over Christian. And we'll have a different champion. Easy. Totally. I think as things stand, the FalKAns are kind of sitting here and poised to take like the most like do nothing 3-3-3. Where like I think like they've had like an on average like 2 Tenpais per player per game or something. They just like have not gotten to play.
Yeah, and looking at Claire's starting hand, it's nothing. The fireworks that the FalKAns need.
It is a 1-2-3 Sanchoku. All right, we stand. Maybe this is a red 5-pin to throw back. Michael is our last dealer. Does have what could be the best hand.
Did Calvin discard Northeast West?
Yes, he did.
Oh, so Calvin is live for news and discards. Okay.
Come on, okay. Calvin. Where's the draw? Oh no! It's alright. It's new. It's the new wave. It's new. It's a new W. There's a new winner being crowned. I got nothing. Ah!
Oh no!
West. Don't let your memes be dreams. News and discards for people not familiar with New York City memes. It's just discarding north, east, west, south in that order to start the hand. And NEWS. The good content.
I mean, if you're looking for things to spell, I believe Calvin could have spelled Ren with west, red, east, north. It's a pretty good word there.
Yeah, it's something. We're trying. In terms of hands, Claire's hands like ordinarily would look like fine, but like it probably caps out at like Baimon, which like doesn't do enough.
I think she's doing what Ipeiko, Sanchoku,
like Junshan Pinfu, like Sanshoku Ipeko, probably. Just
Yeah.
try to pair the 9-pin. Calvin's hand pretty, fairly pretty. 3 4 4 5 5 Aka shapes. It's something. It's something. Can actually Yakten or overtake Michael with a Hanemon Sumo. It's an 18,000 point swing, and he is 17.5 down, if my quick math is correct. Claire is technically Tenpai. It's not a Tenpai she's going to take, but she is technically Tenpai.
Michael has an upgrade to the 6/8
Yeah,
so shape.
Christian Sands really is not doing anything, and Christian can sumo Mangan to get out of last, but I don't even think Christian Sand can really do that right now. And Christian is what? Ryanshan then? Yeah. Claire watching the 9-pin die. Very sad. Claire would like to draw a 1-pin and then another 1-pin, please. Or a 9-pin and then a 1-pin. Or a 1-pin and then a 9-pin. The thing is, if you draw a 1-pin, you can't just like jam for a... Nope. Never mind. She's going to hedge towards the 3-so there because she can actually get the Ipeko in a different suit as well. So the 1-so is 2 cut and 1 in hand. Calvin has actually potential here for like a Pinfu Ipeko Dora 3, which if Rishi and Sumo would be enough points to overtake and take first place. Not enough points to get second place overall, but you know, it's something. Michael, I think, is just memeing towards a Suwanko here. Because, like, why not? Or maybe even just like a Tanyao Toy Toy. He has Ishanten for just like normal Tanyao Ipeko as well. Or even just Tanyao Nomi if he decides to open. No, not another 1-pin dead. We're watching all of Claire's styles die in slow motion. Not a tile that you can Shi, unfortunately, if you're Calvin. Oh, that does... Oh, it's something. Calvin's in a very, like, particular Ryan Shanten that's not really being nice to him. Looks like everyone's just kind of like going for their own thing and like no one's really getting it.
Yeah. Just
no one
ships
really
passing in the night.
Yeah, no one really passing Ryan Shanten except for Michael, who's like pretty okay with just not being Tenpai here. Unless you really want to try to run down the Triad and keep us here all night.
Which I'm certainly fine with, but
I'm
not sure our viewers at home.
I'm not. Alright, Michael's Ryan Feko Shanten. Maybe something, you know, maybe you go for that. Two-pin does nothing. Claire can meme con if she wants to. Does absolutely nothing, but she could. In fact, it completely destroys any value that the hand could possibly have, as well as her ability to win it. That is finally a progression draw for Calvin. Now Ishanten. With 2 draws left. Is it even 2 draws left? It might just be 1 draw left. It is just 1 draw left, damn. But maybe Calvin gets Tenpai. I think we're just going to see 4 no-10s here. It's quite sad. Yep, that is not going to be Tenpai for Calvin.
That will be Tenpai for Michael if Calvin drops the 7-pin, but does not.
Does not happen. Don't think. Yeah, Christian does drawing nothing. Haku does nothing. And we're going to end on a whisper here, but overall still a very exciting fireworky game. We saw Rinshan Kaiho, we saw some open Richi stuff. We we saw Hadaka Tanki Honitsu Toy Toy Dora 4 that didn't quite get there. But congratulations to everyone in New York on a very good, well-run first season. Thank you to all of the participants and for New York for having us as well. And lastly, but of course the most important, a humongous congratulations to the Queen's Mahjong Triad, the team of Josh, Eric, and Christian, for taking home the championship title for the very first season of NOMI League.
Yeah. And all the teams, thank you to all of them. Y'all did great.
Yeah.
And I think we had really good mahjong today, and the whole season. I'm not sure how much of the season you caught,
Yeah, I
but
was really only able to watch on the days that I casted, but I mean, when I casted, like it felt like there was a lot of quality play going around, a lot of good experience being gained, and just like I mean, I think this is just like overall just been a fantastic thing for Mahjong in New York in general. Of
yeah,
course,
I
special thanks
believe,
to our dedicated stream team, Claire and Andreas for consistently hosting and working the streams and whatnot. Um, Sam and Ray working behind the scenes tirelessly to make sure that your viewing experience at home has been fantastic, and all of the commentators throughout the season, including us, but mostly everyone else.
and I believe that's all from us. Do you have any closing thoughts you wanna?
Nope, that is gonna be it for us though tonight. Once again, congratulations to the Queen's Mahjong Triad. I am Light Pink Yoshi / Max. I will see you all in June.
And I'm Wes, and I'll be around.
Have a good night.
Night.